or anything?
I am ready for you whenever you are.
Okay. The meeting will come to order. For public information, a copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of this meeting room on the east wall, right back there. We'll go with roll call.
Harris,
Here?
Knapper, Meyer,
Here.
Reisig,
Here.
Blue.
Here.
All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're gonna need a motion to approve the agenda, and again, okay,
Second.
the agenda is just review budget information. All right, go ahead.
Meyer,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes. Motion's carried. So we'll go on with our budget items. Lisa, do you want to give us some information first, or?
I'm showing right now we are 17,118,000 in tax ask. We needed to get down to 15,600 or 14,900 or
It was 17, what?
17,118,000. And I did just send an email. I tried to call the auditor of public accounts guy to see if that prior year's tax ask, prior year money is going to penalize us in future years. If it doesn't, we might as well use it if we can, or if that's what you choose to do, which would move us up to the 15,600. So I just wanted him to clarify what exactly that means, because this will be available like from previous lid. I just emailed. Didn't get it.
And how much did that amount to?
$780,000. It was, yeah. Yeah, maybe it was. I'm pulling up the worksheet. You guys will recognize it once I open it. Yeah, that's some growth. We're still waiting for Robert's number. We know that. But it's $709,053.60. If we could utilize that, it could bring your potential authority property taxes up to $15,656,000.
Be a lot better.
15, how much?
$15,656,000 is the max.
And that's without doing any further cutting or anything else, right?
Yeah, it would raise your levy. The question is to make sure next year it doesn't penalize us somehow, but we can.
And you can without penalty.
Well, it would raise you to 15 million, but we'd still have to cut 2.5 million.
Yeah, we're still 2.5 million over.
Well, or is it 2.5, or is it 2.2?
Something like that.
A little over 2 million, yeah.
The 15.6 would be maxing out what you think we can do our tax asking wise, but, still 2 million.
1.5 million off. If it's 15.6, then and I'm right now sitting at 17,118,000.
1.5.
Yeah, so 1.5.
That's cool.
I kind of ran it by her the other day. I don't think she's total authority on that. I mean, she's not.
I'm not sure I'm
She helped me
in
out a lot
favor of
today, doing the paper, right? It's just
going up to the absolute maximum that we can possibly go to. I don't know that I'm interested in that, but anyway.
You need to be aware.
No, we need to know the numbers, that's for
We
sure.
also need to know by using that, if that holds us, if that's our benchmark, or if we come back to where we're at every year from now on. Are we gonna come back to this every year? This number now with this cap, or we cap at this number?
No, I wouldn't say that's the case, because every year is gonna be different, because of that inflation rate that they've now built into there, and it's built on our growth. So it's it's going to be, we compare last year's tax ask to, and apply these factors to it, and the factors will change. And there's still going to be a limit to how much we can raise our tax ask up to.
Because, you know, when we first had it explained to us last year, this new thing, it sounded like we were gonna have to go back to the original cap. And then it sounded like it was actually gonna be better than before. You know, I've heard a couple different
It
swings.
just all depends on the year.
Yeah, sounds like.
That's when the sliced index stuff comes. This year, we get a little extra.
Did you talk to Charlie or anybody? Anybody talk?
I,
Charlie?
I haven't talked to him today.
Anyway, I wanted to bring that out. I should have asked before now, but I'm now asking.
Are we going to, well, I don't know if there's any other questions of Lisa at this point. She kind of gives us an overview when we get started, and,
I did wanna talk about what it takes to get to the tax asking, because when you talk about reserves and what that means and how we could totally be in a better position. When I calculate tax asking, I know, take prospective budget, remove any projected revenue. And then you take out what we have in that fund right now. That's what comes with tax asking, which you're not gonna see anything in this column
So-
or series of lines, because it's all under the general fund.
So then projected revenue is all a bonus then, is that what you're saying? You're gonna
Let's
remove
look at
it,
Roadrunner. Okay, so what I have in these two columns, and this is the sheet in front of you,
right?
is the budgeted expenditures, right? Then the budgeted projected revenue. So you take the expenses, remove any projected revenue, and then you gotta take out the balance of the fund as of July 1.
What carried over,
What's carried over?
okay?
Some of these and general has 2.8 million. And that's gonna encompass all these departments, because they all operate under general. And then, anyway, so budget, key comes out to expenses, remove the revenue, also take out what's sitting in the fund as of July 1. My tax ask is 188,442. So, that being the case, you take away all our reserves, we start July 1 with $0. Attention. $0. How you paying your $950,000 bill you paid July? How you paying, I mean, you gotta have money in the bank. So we start our year with money in the bank. If you want money to say reserves to put into another pot that we can move and share somewhere, you gotta build that reserve number to 4 million. Then I might have some money to move somewhere. But at 2.8, we're barely scratching the surface, making sure we have cash in the bank to pay our bills. And August, you know, it carries forward. How to state any different from that.
But what about your money that carries forward? That,
That's taken away from, that's,
but you get to use that in July, I mean, that's July and August, you can spend that in July and August.
if you have some.
If you have some.
If you take out the extra 2.8 million that we're trying to build up for our reserve, you may have nothing there.
Next year.
Or to move somewhere else, then you gotta put more in the reserve, then we can have it for build up. Maybe it counts investors.
Sounds like where our problem is, we should be collecting taxes in June instead of August, and then by the time you'd have to start getting money already, but we got 2 months in there where we're not collecting any money.
Well, how's that help you for, and we aren't collecting taxes in January, February, March? I mean, it's, what's the right time to collect taxes?
And we don't have any control over that, and
No,
it's
we
been
don't.
that way for 100 years, so
Oh, I know.
that ain't gonna change.
Realize, but it just seems like the timing is out of sync for some of that stuff.
It is a little,
This
but
cutoff date is the killer. I mean, when the cutoff date goes to $0, and you start with nothing.
Do you? Are you talking $0 and you start with, what are you referring to? Every fund
Well,
in
then
the
you-
general fund?
Then you're running out of the general fund, because everything's budgeted till June 30th or 31st.
If you operate, we have several departments under the general fund, right? IT, we're gonna talk about today. They don't have a separate fund, separate checking account within our county funds. What we budget for expenditures, they need to stay under. The general fund, admin, the 971 account, I call it, we're gonna talk about it tonight, it starts off with $2.8 million. Of which I'm going through right now and doing fund transfers to roads, to detention, that's, I think you all got an email last week that they had to borrow another $600,000. Because we must move money from the general fund down to the jail. I'm moving like $1 million out of here down to the jail to keep that fund in the black, not red. They can't, their federal money isn't going to support all their operational operations. We know it's gotta be part of property tax dollars and the money they bring in for their federal business. I think we've got to move some money to them, we move chunk down to comm center too, because I'm levying only to the general fund and the bond fund now. We've opened all these other funds, we've had these other funds open that we have to apply for the property tax ask. Anyway, it's heady, I get it. Try to clarify some things.
So I think in the simplest of terms, there has been some suggestion that we don't need any cash reserves, which basically would mean that we would use up that 2 million, whatever we have, 2.8 million that we started the year with. What we're saying is that we would use that up during this fiscal year and start next year with 0 is what's been talked about here. And, that, in my opinion, that does not work. It is true that, that we're gonna get, most of the taxes that we levy for. We're gonna get most of those. But, will they be here at perfect timing? No, it won't be.
Yeah,
And
but
so
you have
that's
something- yeah.
why that,
You have property tax sale in February for the ones
Right.
that didn't pay.
it's kinda like your own checkbook at home. I don't ever let my checkbook go down to 0 or $10. I always want money in there so that I know I'm gonna be able to pay my bills. Or a savings account that I can get it out of. And, right, and, auditor is telling us to have how much, 3 to 4 months of expenses.
And our expenses run, could be, it's different every month, but average.
Average.
maybe a couple million.
Right, and that's where we're at. That's where and did you say that we were more than that before on a typical basis, more than 2 million? We,
Probably have a better.
Our
I'm thinking
pay-
payroll's over $1 million. $1.5 million.
per month,
Or just. Okay, that's what
I didn't hear. How much? That was
Payroll has been at $1.5 million every month.
$1.5 million
That is the deposit ticket that I would write.
to cover everything.
Yes.
Okay,
gotta pay for health insurance. Other claims that we pay monthly.
Anywhere from $1.5 million some runs to like last on the 4th.
Yeah.
Between 5 and 700,000
and
for the first.
So, the way you guys are bookkeeping here, if you're gonna spend 14.9 million, you need 16.9 million so you can carry it over, cause you still gotta spend 14.9 in 2025-26. You're gonna spend 14.9. So you need 16.9 million to push 2 million forward is what you're wanting to do in a reserve.
Reserves built into the 14.9.
Yes,
That's right, we already got it. We already have that 2 million,
that 14.9 includes that 2 million.
and we have it now. We had it at the beginning of the fiscal year
Well, they
in
have it every year.
the checking account.
We have it, if you can make it cushier, that'd be great. We're probably down to that
Right.
point, right?
And some are saying spend it, and I'm against that. Or not spend it, but
Well, we're
well,
always
it's the
building-
same as spending it, use it in, so we don't have to tax as much.
So there's 2
Or
million.
tax more, basically.
Yeah, 2 million moves ahead to the next budget year, beyond this budget year. 2 million of it moves out of this budget year into the next budget.
I'll just clarify what I was saying was, we should, when we talk about saving money versus projects versus payroll, we had that comment in the paper, I'm gonna go back to it. Didn't like it, but it said, make payroll and shutter your projects and build reserves. And I don't think we should be building reserves before we do projects. We can do projects without having a cash reserve. We should be doing projects.
There's still
before-
money in there for them.
Projects should be a priority over cash reserve. That's our job. is to build roads and bridges and keep things running. Building a cash reserve should be the next thing. And again, I'm saying that we're a county government. We're not competing for tax revenue. Chris can't go to Sioux County and say, I'd rather pay my taxes over here. He can't do that. We're a government entity, we're not competing for tax revenue.
Meaning, are you saying that we're not competing for, it, meaning that we're pretty much guaranteed what we levy?
Mhm.
And I agree with that. We're pretty much guaranteed within a couple percentage points that we're gonna get what we levy.
I think it showed in my, I'm sorry, it showed in that one spreadsheet that I have to turn into the auditor of public accounts. We show we levied 14.178 last year, but they say we received 14.81. Pretty much right there.
Right, pretty much what we levy. And the only issue to that, in my opinion, then is, so we, let's say we want 14.9 million. We're gonna get virtually 14.9. But, we're not gonna have it at the perfect timing. So we need to have something to pay the bills when we don't have the perfect timing of the money. And there is a potential, but not a lot, I would say, of a emergency or a crisis, which would cause us to spend more money than what we levied. And that's the other reason for a reserve, for emergencies that you didn't expect.
I mean, and we could levy it next year. Unless we put it in this budget, how do you levy in the middle?
I didn't say levy. What do you mean?
I thought you said.
No, I'm saying that if we had an emergency situation where it, let's say for whatever the reason was, let's say weather-related emergency that cost us an extra $1 million, then if we don't have it in reserves, we don't have it anywhere. And if we have it in reserves, then we have it.
Then we can't carry it forward if we spend it, but then at least you've had
Right,
it.
and then we wouldn't carry, I mean, you'd be $1 million less
Carry it
at the
forward.
end of the year than what you expected.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, okay.
So you haven't.
For at least,
Maintain.
that's what you're saying, it was like 2.9 last year, 2.8 this year. In the general fund.
Right, okay.
Okay, point taken, I'll sleep better tonight. Thank you.
Well, that's how I feel. I'm not
You
sure
better
everybody
sleep
does, but that's how I feel.
Uh-oh. Senior level tonight.
My bigger issue here is that if we were talking about, let's reduce the reserves so we can help cut taxes, I might be listening a little more. But what I think I'm hearing is, let's reduce reserves so we can spend more money, and I'm not in favor of that either. I just flat out not in favor of that.
I don't think that's what we're saying.
Makes sense to me, but, I think that 14.9 is where we need to be.
Well, actually,
14.85.
I think while you were out, she's more concerned with a $700,000 issue, which would bring it to 15.6. He wasn't here to hear
What
that.
was that 700,000 that we're taking out?
That was, no, 700,000 was, prior use unused authority that we can plug in. To get additional, we could raise our property tax up to that, and I'm just verifying with auditor public accounts how that affects us next year.
So that's that line item that we used to vote on,
We used
and
to.
basically, yeah, we
Raising the lid.
we could use that if we chose to. And if we used all of that, we'd be up to 15,656,000.
And there's other exceptions too, and that's where I've
Right.
discussed you, I know those other line items go get you next year, I mean, you have to report that. And it reduces the amount you can levy next year.
Right.
This prior year unused property tax, this might be your only year to use it, or that's, I gotta understand that better now.
When we get together on Monday, you'll certainly have that answer, right? Okay. Well, it seems to me that
Nice.
we're looking at those, big numbers, and I appreciate you giving those to us each time when we start here. But I'm of the opinion that we have these folks here, we ought to let them make their presentation, and then we can go back to this bigger discussion, at the end, if we have time. So did you have someone in mind to be first, Bites, probably?
Like, probably bites, because I didn't print first.
You aren't gifting us with your present?
I am, it's just, there's no charge, so. Where would you like me to start? Oh, you can pull that up again?
I get there. If
Okay.
you could just start talking about how the years are going, and things are going, then I'll.
Well, things are going really well with Bites, and I think things are going well IT-wise for the county. That's the feedback I'm getting, feedback we're getting from our IT committee meetings, that Carrie comes and I come to occasionally and talks to the, elected officials. And so I think things are going well there. I'm not sure if we have last year's budget when you pull it up, but I believe we came in under our expected spend.
Here. Oh,
About 50,000,
What's that?
about 50,000 below.
And so this year, I have a couple requests in there. It's not reflected here, but there is one request that's without the phone system. So I did do a 3% increase for, general, like, our line items for,
Here's your number with the phone, without.
okay, on the right. Okay, so on the far right column is where we started, without the phone system. So I took most of our services, not Bytes, but your phone service, the services you guys pay for licensing and things like that. We're seeing between, I don't know, 3 to 8% increases. I'm sure you guys are all getting them. You know, I just got one for, I think, my electric bill or my gas bill. It's gonna go up a few percentage points, right? So I try to cover that with 3% across the board for the services you guys pay for outside of Bytes. Again, you guys signed an agreement with us for 5 years. That has not changed. It's not changing last year, and it's not changing this year. That's a flat fee. We don't raise our price. What I did do, though, is there has been discussions around replacing the aging phone system. That has been here for around 20 years. We're keeping it running. If we need parts, we do have to contact a supplier, and he's finding them on eBay. And so they are going to sunset that platform in the next few years. So I'm trying to get visibility to what a new phone system will look like for the county, because we're riding on borrowed time, I think, at this point. I think we all have, I have an old truck at home, and every time I get in, I'm like, it's been good to me for 15 or 20 years. One of these days, I know it's just not gonna start again for me. Now, the good thing is I have a different car I could use. Right now, if we lost the phone system at the county, there's no just backup that we have, like, oh, we'll just be down for a day or two, right? It's a full rebuild of a new system. And so I'd like to try to get there before that happens. I can't imagine the impact to the county, what that would be if the phones were just down.
Are you talking about doing it in pieces?
No, it would be,
The total.
it's a total, yeah, the total is just, it's a monthly fee that's paid, from the vendors I've talked to. Kind of got an idea of their pricing, because it's new programming, new phones, new software, right, new training for everybody. And so it'd just be a monthly fee to replace it. That's where everybody's going, right? Subscription-based. And so it would be a cloud-based system that you guys would be signing up for. And so that's reflected in the request for 25-26. There is some savings there. We do lose out. So today with the phone system, we have PRIs, which is used for the phone lines that come in, and those cost, well, the difference between about, I guess, $15,000 a year for those phone lines. And so we drop that off because you no longer need to use those phone lines anymore, because we'd be going out through the internet. So those lines that we have through Alva would go away. So that bill would go away. So I've included that price decrease on line item number 205-18.
Internet service?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that drop down there is because those are no longer there.
2-025. 205.
So this is the 2430 versus the 9600. Line 18. And I know from our meetings with the officials that there's a concern there with the phone system. And so I want to continue to bring it to your attention to understand that.
Are we having a lot of issues with it?
No, it's just, there's just, they also released, I believe, from some information that maybe John shared in one of the meetings, there was just a notification about them sunsetting that system. So everybody knows it's quite old. We've talked about it last year. It was in a request last year. It didn't get approved. And so I'm bringing it forward this year, just to make sure everybody's aware that, in the next 2 to 3 years, it will be a requirement. It'll just be sunsetted, and they won't be supporting the system at all anymore.
So with what we're paying now, does that change much with the new system then, Chris?
Yeah, so you do save, so a couple other things on line item number 23, which is 21104 service renewals. We do pay $10,000 a year to a support company for support on the short tail. That's been dropped down. You see it's 52,500 with the current phone system. That drops down to 42,500. So
Let me be sure then again that, the far right column is with the new phone system or without?
with the new, the far right one in AD,
Without.
Right here, yeah.
She
These
put
are
them
the
side by
same.
side.
These are the same. Without and with.
With new phone system.
right.
And this is with new. Look at it too.
Yeah, we don't have that one, but
Oh, okay, sorry, that's why far right.
we don't
to
have
me.
that column. We have those two.
Okay,
But she has them side by side on the spreadsheet.
What? What's that?
Our last column is the 570.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
without.
500.
sorry about that. I was calling out the one that was on the screen here. That's why it looked far right to me.
What if I do that?
That's good. So yeah,
Okay.
P
Let
is
me
with
go
the new
back.
phone system, AB is without the phone system.
Say it one more time so I can write it down.
Well, the
got
669 is
Yep.
with the new phone system, which is column P.
So with the new,
Just the top, just
Oh.
the top square.
with the new phone system, that takes out the internet.
Column.
If we stay at this existing system, the internet stays.
Yeah, there's some lines that we paid. The internet service is just the bill that is paid by to
Don't we
Allo.
have Wi-Fi throughout the building where we wouldn't need internet on these other phones?
No, you wouldn't. That would stay. So we still have the Allo internet bill, because we would ride that with the new phone system. But there's some additional lines that come in for the current phone system that we wouldn't need anymore. Those would go away.
So we're looking at, taking out $18,000 a year or $17,000 a year. If we step step up the other thing, so that'll actually pay for the phone system.
It pays for some of it. I mean, obviously, we're,
Come to it over 10 years. it pays
yeah,
for it.
oh, yeah, of course. But there is some savings there. And again, new phones, so there's some expense there, right, with new phones. That would need to come with that. That's why it's all in a monthly fee. And this was the high price, the price I put in here was the higher end, but I wanted to budget for that because that's the vendors I talked to, that was their range. So that's the top of that range, but I want to make sure we budget for it in case that's the one that met all our
And you're
needs.
saying within the next year or 2 years, we're not gonna have a choice.
Yeah, correct,
We're gonna have to.
correct.
The, so in that new phone system column, then a good portion of that is the actual phones and hardware, the one-time costs. And which line item there would tell me what is the one-time cost?
So so most of the vendors are going to provide that stuff for you guys as part of a agreement.
A
So they'll
monthly
pro-
fee? you
Yeah,
said.
so you pay monthly and we'll provide you phones. If they don't, one of these, our capital expenditures should be able to cover replacement of those phones for one of those years.
So which line item is that monthly fee then?
That monthly line item fee will go to, $1,100.
Data processing costs, and that's why it's jumping well. We budgeted 96 before, right?
It's all about how I
Actual was only 2,700, but
it's all about what line item I'm posting things at, so it's not on Resincity. And you're also seeing service renewals at 131 compared to the budget of 42.5.
so then,
So it was added. Okay. Since my notes and stuff aren't on this one, if you look up to 200, so 200, there's the 73.5. So that is the price to replace the aging ShoreTel system.
No.
Correct.
You budgeted 96,000 last year and spent 2,700 of it.
Or which
That would
one?
pay for the phone one.
Okay, you guys, I write the claims for IT. I am not sure when he comes in, what line item he has stuff in, and I keep rolling things through. So, yeah, you might say, we only spent 2,700 out of a $96,000 budget, but I might not have applied the right line. Look overall at the total expenses, 519,000 to 571, and line by line stuff.
Can't that be
It's
billed
kinda
out if you
immaterial.
bill it the way it should be billed? Can you bill it out for the line item so that it gets taken off?
He doesn't see the bill.
well, it's immaterial other than the fact that, I guess, tell me again, the new phone system is gonna cost how much each month for perpetuity?
So today, based on the quotes I have, I have it at $6,125 is the cost of the new phone system. With that, that's the price of the phone system. Now we're gonna we save $10,000 a year by not having to pay for support of the current phone system
10,000 per year.
per year.
So
And then if we remove those 3 PRIs, those cost us $495 per month. So that equals $9,600 per year. So we can say,
PRI is
it's the interface that the phone lines use today.
the guts of it.
Yeah, and so if you take that 9,600 plus the 10, we're looking at $20,000. So real cost, 73,500 minus the 20 is 53,500. Divided by the 12 would be $4,458 real cost. If we're like, oh, we rip this out and we put this one in, that's what the current estimates are from the people I've talked to.
These want to know how much it's
So-
gonna cost him,
Right.
how long.
So I guess I'm trying to figure out you've got some monthly costs in there now
Mhm.
with the old system.
Correct,
And that we're gonna totally take away,
correct.
and then we're gonna have these new monthly costs.
Yep.
And the new ones are more or less?
More. So you pay 73,500 for the new phone system. Okay?
A one-time thing?
No, every year. So that was
year.
$6,125 per month.
Oh, so it's an annual, and that's where you're coming up with 6,000 per month.
Yep, sorry, 6,000
Okay.
per month. For as long as you have the phone
But
system, right?
we're gonna pay it annually, 73,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, how much of that is kind of like Mark, a little confused as monthly is, as opposed to writing a check for the phone systems. So that monthly is going to take care of the new system.
Yep.
And all the equipment.
Yep.
So we're not budgeting 75,000 or whatever all in one shot.
Not for the phone
But
system,
it's for a
correct.
year, you're still budgeting 75.
We still got a budget
You
for it.
budget, you budget for the full year.
but you're gonna pay
right?
it monthly.
Yep.
Right,
So it's still per
which is
year,
what we're doing now. We're still paying monthly.
but not as much.
Not as much, correct, yeah. Your short tail system, you guys must have purchased many years ago, right? When everybody was still doing
We're
stuff
spending
on
73,000
prem.
less right now.
Because they were still open at that time.
Martha Stewart.
You know, it's just a shift in the.
I think we should get a bid on that. That's a big enough deal that could be.
I have a,
Well,
But that's
we're
what,
not,
and he's doing that.
right,
Yeah,
we're
it's
not
not-
choosing,
yeah, I'm not
we're not
selling it to you
choosing the
guys.
supplier right
I'm-
now.
Pardon?
Yeah, we're not choosing the supplier, he's just giving us a dollar amount, we got a budget for.
And he's checked with these other vendors already on numbers.
Yeah, and it's rough, right? They're like, hey, we can't really move too much further until you say, hey, yeah, you guys can move forward and we can start doing some demos and things like that. It could be cheaper, but that would be what I consider to be the max.
Go ahead.
so, of that 73,500, and you said it's towards the purchase of the phones?
Yes, some of, so,
Is there any portion of that 73,500 that you never have to pay again?
All of it gets paid every year.
So, if a phone fails, it's replaced within this?
some of those vendors
also?
will do that. The highest price
Okay.
ones will do that.
That was a good question, huh, Mark?
Is that
Okay.
just for this building or is it for?
Everybody. It
Road
would be for
bridge,
everybody.
everybody gets-
It's based on users, so we gave them the user count today of how many phones and users we have today. And of course, it differs. Some people, you might be, oh, they don't need a desk phone, they can use I don't know, a soft phone.
They're gonna use you're gonna have different locations, so you're gonna have to have cabinets at all these different
No.
locations.
No cabinets, it's all just, we plug them into the internet and they're talking to the internet. So you don't have to have hardware on-prem other than your phone.
Is that one more wire out of our wall, too?
No, because you guys are plugging in today through the short tail system. You know, so a lot of your time, your phone goes in your phone and then it goes in your computer.
How many users did you end up with on
I think it was 250-ish.
that?
That's locations where there's phones today.
Users in the short tail system that John had went through and it's like, hey, here's the active users
That's what
we
we
have.
have right now.
So that can go up or down, of course.
What happens to the conference type?
Those have a license also. So again, there's some stuff you can get based on license type, right? Oh, I want to be a power user. I need all the features. Well, I don't need all those. I just need a basic phone that just works. Okay, maybe that's a little bit cheaper for you. But we haven't gotten to that depth with them yet on that.
Yeah, some of them.
But no matter what, it'll be a monthly fee, not a one-time shop.
I mean, that's what we've looked at today, because that's what most vendors are pushing you to, is just to be cloud-based. I'm not even sure what the price would be if we asked for new equipment on-prem.
And then how long is it gonna last us?
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
better way, I guess. Keep us up, like, keep us in knowledge.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits. You are going to usually pay more to have it hosted, but updates happen on their infrastructure instead, right? So when they need to do an upgrade, now they're gonna get you every year probably with like, hey, a 3 or 5% increase, like we're all seeing in everything that we subscribe to. But yeah, then the onus is on them to upgrade their infrastructure, and then we're just, having our phones connect.
And I gotta throw this out for Ken. Do you have options in hold music?
Yeah, I've asked him about that.
I was gonna bring it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
At
step
some
on your
particular
toes.
Point.
There's a world of difference what you guys will be able to do with this new phone
Okay.
system.
I'm not gonna prove anything until you change the music.
Each office and each phone ought to be able
That
to
has got to be the
have their
ugliest
own.
folded music I've ever heard.
Yes, that's been a big complaint.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna ask it again. These numbers are proposing that we would spend 73,000 or 6,000, whatever you called it, per month for the new system. And that would include replacements of phones and that type of thing when they needed to be replaced. And my question is, what are we paying now?
So the difference is, you're paying
Or
nothing for like you're saving, you're paying $20,000 a year today.
You got
$10,000 for support, and then $9,600 a year for those PRI lines.
Okay.
Those two go away. So your net new is basically $53,000 a year.
per year?
You know,
And that's if we do it now. It could be more than that next year or the year after or whatever.
yeah, and some of the vendors might be cheaper, and we might just tap into the capital expenditure budgets to say we need to buy some phones, right? So some of you might go, oh, I'll do it for, I don't know, $3,500 a month, and now you guys have to pay for new phones. Or some of the vendors might be able to use the phones that we have. It just all depends on who we go with. That we can say, hey, we have these model of phones, can we use them? Some of them might not be able to work.
So you're changing service and not so much equipment then.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
We just have to get in inventory, and so,
Chris?
yes.
Okay, I don't know how much I provide, this is not paid out of the IT budget, but it's a $3,062 a month.
Yeah, those are the ones I got, and some of those bills I had were for, the 3 PRI lines that I identified. That's where I grabbed that from that bill, or from those bills.
So some of this is not paid from this budget, it's paid from general budget.
Correct.
The land, that's our internet.
That's land extensions between facilities, correct.
So if we have if the internet goes down, we don't have phones.
Correct.
And that's fairly rare with Allo, but it's not like it's never happened.
Correct. That is a risk.
So does that cover your long distance calling, everything's all included in this thing, so. look-
Yep.
So right there's 3,000, just on the sheriff's department, what they're putting into phones, which we wouldn't have that either.
Yeah, there could be
If you
some
go down
other
each
things
one of
that,
these and look at these, I think there's a lot of savings here, I think. We need to see what it would really cost.
are you saying there's that was $3,000 in long distance charges?
That's
Or
a year, that's, I don't know what it is, just says phone service.
Or where?
There shouldn't
That's
be
a,
anything
that's a
extra.
detention center.
There is, there
Is
is,
there
I
really?
mean, like, okay, I have one here. Yeah, I have right here, I think, John. But he'll call it $7.72.
Remember, the one especially at the detention center is, we most likely get reimbursed for that in that,
It's not, yeah, that might be. I guess they
I don't know anything.
Monastery stuff.
So that would actually be a positive for us if we charged them out for their share.
You're talking about the detention center phones?
I'm talking, that one where we just, maybe they have, do
Okay.
you think that subcontractor that we just signed the agreement with has their own phone system and lines?
Here's,
I don't know how they do.
here's
I believe
the-
it's separate. Do you guys have those terminals right there where I believe those are separate.
Really?
The phone system.
Here's
So it's
Sheriff's
not in
Department.
this.
Sheriff's Department is 19,900 a year we're paying for phone service. So this thing
Here's
is
how-
almost,
That's their cell phones, that's their tablets.
okay. So that's on top of all.
This is just the office phones.
Okay, it ain't broke down that way. It should be cell phone and regular.
Well, you know what, we have to follow very strict guidance from the APA on what line items we can have. So, yeah, I don't think they go down, it makes sense, but.
We don't have a
I don't
breakout
know.
there. The jail's probably the same way then. Most of that'd probably be some cell phones included in that. Detention center.
Trying to think of how they do that, Kurt has FirstNet phones, that's what sheriff uses, right?
they don't allow.
Then you got Scotts Bluff Administration General, you got 38,000 for phones in this thing.
Which one you looking at, general?
You got,
Yeah.
you're gonna have 100,000 phones if you go through all this stuff.
Communications, not cheap, that's what he's talking, that's this $3,000
Well,
bill
that
I
might need
pulled
to
up
have a handle for that.
is, I think it says. Charge from Allo, that's what you said, that's.
That one, I'd have to see, I'm not sure, if you scroll down, I'm not sure, this is per month,
Mm-hmm.
telephone services, 2353, I'm not sure why you guys, is it broken down there by, there's the 3,000.
You got 5,000 on the phones, road.
So there's one of the
10,000.
PRIs, right?
Good for
the phone
communication.
system. And then you guys, yeah, it looks like maybe you guys are doing some stuff differently at the detention center. What's BTN? 633-1800. Second one down.
There it is.
I'll bet you we're easy spending over 100,000.
In the budget.
All our budgets, if you take telephone service
And
Yeah, that's what, can I call it, does that make sense?
per month.
a year,
Per year.
100,000 a year, and he wants to force spend 50 something. 5,000.
73,000.
73,000. I bet you.
But that doesn't, that's not gonna include the cell phone.
No cell phone.
This is probably. That's J. I don't think it's all detention, so it'll be labeled as detention.
You guys are obviously paying Allo for some of your phone services at some of your locations.
Yes. See, that calls that, look at
Speaking
that,
of phone service, we got,
oh, how funny, oh, there you go. It says detention, but it's not, makes me feel.
So yeah,
Is that when you're
if you guys are looking at this, I mean, your taxes for just 6617 or your total for that is $1,062 a month. You guys are paying $1,974 for County BTN is.
So
They're
I guess I'm a little concerned about that bill and just saying, hey, somehow somebody with the expertise needs to check that bill once every 6 months or every year
Charlotte, we get.
and make sure that we're getting charged for what we're supposed to be getting charged for. I'm not sure any one of us can check it without your help or,
Oh, yeah, if I
John's or
can get a
somebody's.
copy of those Allo bills, I can reach out to them. Because a lot of this stuff would likely go away, because you have DID lines, right, which are your, the direct inbound dial number, that's your phone number. So if I need a number you can call, like 633-1800, that's a DID number, and you pay on there probably a few bucks a month for that. So yeah, I would definitely be open to contacting Aldo if I can get a copy of those bills and saying, hey, we're looking at different phone service, let me see what you guys are billing us. And there could be a possibility to, just from these two prices here, you're talking $3,000 a month right there. For those two,
and if those went away,
To eliminate those.
those went away, now you're talking $2,000 a month, right,
and it's, right. And that's what I'm trying to get a handle on
Yep.
here. I'm trying to get a handle on what can we save per month versus 6,000 whatever per month.
Are there still long distance charges then?
No.
Really?
No, there's minutes, so part of the calculation is how many users do I have? How many minutes am I gonna use? And, it's some hundreds of thousands of minutes you buy, right? And so that just covers, that's part of the bill.
That's one bill that every department gets to
Yeah,
get
so,
rid of too.
yeah, I mean, if you guys,
I mean, when mine's at 14, I'm like, who's seizing all the calls?
I mean, I'm
Long
willing to
distance.
have my team go through the work and contact Allo and just really break it down and, come back and provide you guys, since you guys have some other phone services provided, to come through and say, hey, here's where you guys are today, here's where you'd be tomorrow.
If
that.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have just
We'd be
put in-
interested, very interested in that,
Okay,
and, I don't know what it does to us for making a decision now,
Sure.
but, if we can start to understand that in simple language, that we're talking $6,500 monthly. I don't, and you know, it goes against my grain to think that, I can't buy a system and not lease it, because this is a lease as far as I'm concerned. And it just goes against my whole train of thought. And, you know, if I can buy it, live with it for 20 years, then I'll bet you most of the time that's gonna be less expensive. But
it will be, yep, if you're able to, yes, leasing is more expensive.
yeah, and that's, to me, what we're doing here.
Correct.
It's
It's the general direction of just
how everybody.
everything, right? Just no matter what you're consuming today, it's
Yeah, kinda
internet,
like cars.
phones, TV services,
Yeah.
you know. Cars are subscribed, they're doing some subscriptions for cars for extra features.
Almost everything in cars.
Well, and I brought that up earlier, is a year from now, 2 years from now, what's the price of the same thing that we're looking at?
Oh, they're all gonna go up some.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like I got some work to do on my end for you guys, and I will work on
We
that.
appreciate that.
And, yeah, anything you can give me for Allo, I would say 90 days worth, and then I can go through and line item those and pull that out and let you guys know the difference.
It seems,
The last 90 days.
At any rate, this wouldn't be the year to put a phone system in.
well, it doesn't seem like it, but,
No, it don't at this point.
but either way, the other line items aren't totally out of whack.
No, 3% on some of the other ones, right? Which is just preparing for somebody to go, hey, somebody might do 3%, but somebody might do 5. In general, you know, yeah, it's around
Okay.
3%. So that covers it.
I sent you some.
Okay.
What is this? Okay.
And I can also, I'll also send an email with you on there, Lisa, and just say, hey, Lisa's authorizing me to take a look at these bills, if there's anything I need, right? That way they can reach me directly and
We would
I
appreciate
can
that.
help them out. Help you
Yeah.
guys out with that.
So we budgeted 571,000 in, total last year, and you're saying 575, and
Correct.
that's what keeps us in that 3%
Yep,
range.
yep.
Okay. Well, so for me, I don't have any problem with the other stuff. The question's gonna be this telephone thing, and,
And you may not need to budget for it if we can get to break even
at
on it,
least, yeah.
right? You know, we might be able to, yeah, if I'll reach out to some people, they push back a lot on prim stuff, right? A lot of them are like, we just don't support it anymore, right? So I can find out if anybody's willing to do that and let you guys know, but that would be a capital expenditure, of who knows how much that could be. But I can come back to you guys and, cause you're doing kind of the same thing today with Allo, right? They're providing your phone service today on a lot of that stuff, or your PRIAs and your numbers with that price you have. It's the infrastructure that we've been moving away with and then pulling away that spend.
If you can
So-
help us with that, that'd be great.
Absolutely. I'll get you guys a breakdown and,
Okay. Otherwise, I don't have any problem. You guys? We don't have Charlie, he's normally the guy that's a little more familiar with this
Yeah.
stuff than we are,
Where'd Charlie go? Did he
but I
take off?
think.
Well, we're lucky we made it 20
I think
years.
No idea, he didn't say anything.
With
You
that short, with that short temper.
it's been, a lot of times those phone systems, they do work, right? I mean, we've had to replace some things, but they made a pretty good phone system.
I'm in the same situation at my office, exact same situation.
Here's
Yeah.
about 20, 25 years left when mine's out of
Yeah.
my office.
And like you said, some of those phones are the deluxe model and some are the plain Jane model, and depending on where they're located in our office. and
Yeah.
things.
put it out on eBay and make a killing because nobody can find it.
Yeah, we'll pay for it that way.
I think that's a great idea.
I would assume it'd take me another 30 days. I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna take Aldo to get me stuff. And I'd say
You know-
another,
So is there any use to you for me to send you, Kelly's gonna get you some $3.42.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if I can just, it's not gonna take much longer, to just type that stuff in and put it all in and say, hey, here's all the data we have for the last 90 days that you guys paid to Allo. Here's what would stay, here's what wouldn't, and here's a comparison to what a new system would look like.
That's what we need,
And then,
Kelly can get
okay,
you know?
that. She can get it.
Well, I don't know.
She's
and I can also,
right now.
ask
I can have
Allo,
somebody that knows about
Yeah.
it. Doing?
again, I'll ask Allo to put me on, that I can just call them and say, send me the invoices.
So, do we ever see a point in time where these desktop phones are gonna go away?
If you would like them to, you can. There is some people don't like that, right? Some people want that physical phone to pick up. But yeah, most of the solutions we're looking at today come with what they call soft, runs on your desktop. And so, yeah, it would be cheaper, right? For some, it's like, okay, you know what, no more. But you have people that may, you have people that share some phones, probably at the center and other places, right? We're like, oh, hey, we might share a phone.
That could be true, but virtually, I'm gonna say that, at least in the office, everybody's gonna have their own phone, would be my guess, but I'm just thinking, yeah, can a cell phone be a desk phone?
It can, you can have
Something
an
just take it
Yep.
with you.
Yep, you can have your application on your phone and you can, it'll follow you. It's called a follow me feature, right? So it's on my phone and bring my phone when I'm not in the office. Only expenditure is, well, again, that would get into, are you paying for phone service for individuals, right? That carrying their work number now with them all the time. And then headsets, of course, you'd have to have headsets for probably every desk for somebody not to just be on speakerphone the whole time. But I use a soft phone. That's all I use.
I'm gonna say
So-
that I'm not so sure all the employees would do this. Put it on their phones. Then I'll say, give me $25.
I'm not,
My cell phone.
I'm not talking about their phone. I'm talking about,
Talking about the follow me
I'm
feature. on
talking
it.
about a phone, one phone that, because we provide some cell phones, but one phone, we're gonna buy phones anyway. And I'm just saying, instead of buying hard desk phones, buy what you're calling a soft, I'm gonna call it cell phone. And that cell phone works on their desk like a desk type phone, or will have the same features basically,
So
most of them, or when they get ready to go and get in a car to go do something, they take it with them and go.
So you could do that. I want to clarify, the soft phone from my perspective is, on my laptop right here, I have Microsoft Teams, which you guys use. They have Teams Voice. So I have a Teams Voice number that I can take with me on here anywhere I go, right? Now, I don't know that they make an actual, you have to get a cell phone to have the Microsoft Teams or whatever, ShoreTel is now MyTel, I believe. So MyTel application probably on your phone to carry it with you, right? So you'd still need some sort of device, like a cell phone that has connectivity to take that phone with you. Now, most people probably don't care to do that, right? Most people today are probably not taking their work phone number home with them, right? Nor do they need to be called maybe after hours. So could you work through a bunch of people and say, hey, we're going to have soft phones? Maybe you have a handful that,
I find myself using my cell phone at my office more and more and more, I'll dial out on it rather than.
it can be because, well, you're not paying for a phone any longer. And so there's some complex licensing that goes into, hey, I want long distance. Hey, I want my phone to follow me. Hey, I want a desk phone, right? All these things, tick a box and go, okay, how many users are under your basic license? How many under your advanced license? How many under your premium license? Because I want a desk phone. I want it to follow me. I want it to transcribe my voicemails into email and have it email me, right? So all those things come with a license type, which includes, if you have 200 people at $5, it'd be more expensive than, maybe 150 at $2 and another 50 at $5 because they don't need all those features. So that would be one of the exercises we do is like, okay, now would be the time to go everybody and say, hey, what do you really need to get your job done? So we can knock off $1 per $1 per user, say $500 a
But
month.
that same thing happened with the laptops or the desktops. And not have an actual phone. You're gonna answer your phone off your computer.
Correct, that's what you could do with the software, correct.
But you wouldn't wanna, most people aren't gonna wanna carry that with them everywhere. they
Sure,
go. But you could virtually, here, as a desktop, you could virtually use it.
Yep.
Well, I'm just saying that those phones, the hard phone, is gonna be a dinosaur someday.
Yeah.
And it's not everybody's gonna have them, and my guess is, in like big office buildings, they're gonna be using something different than that hard phone. I can see call centers
Yep.
using them. I think they'll use them maybe.
Yep.
Maybe longer, maybe not. Maybe they're the perfect candidates for a laptop and headsets and.
it's really the shift, it's a cultural thing. Usually some businesses, you see them, right? They don't have, you're like, hey, come on board, you have a cell phone, maybe we give you a stipend for that, and your phone, with that, we're gonna have our application for your phone on it. And they're like, okay, I only wanna carry one phone anyway. I wanna carry 2 phones with me. So, yeah, your application's on there, and I expect you to answer after hours, or I don't expect you to. So yes, there's a move towards
Is that
a single
something that we
device.
wanna pursue before we spend the money for more desk phones?
That would be the effort we would put together. Again, I wanted to give you guys what I have heard to be the most expensive solution, right? Which would be new phones, all the bells and whistles. What we would do from there is get approval to say, yes, we're going to move forward. Now the vendors will start talking to me a little bit more. If I don't have budget approval, then they're kind of like, well, until you do, we won't give you a
They're not gonna
demo.
get serious.
And so I would do that, say, hey, office, can you guys use soft phones? Because we've heard some people say, I don't want a soft phone, I want a desk phone.
Where we can use a combination. If we go to a landline, let's say, when I call Road and Bridge, I call all those guys individually. Other than if I were to talk to the secretary, I call a landline. If we call a landline, we wanna talk to Steve, are they gonna be able to roll over to the cell phone, just to roll over, talk to him?
Sure,
Well,
yeah,
that way they don't know what his number is, but
yep,
roll
so,
over to Steve, so you can talk to Steve.
They do that now for the.
Oh, yes, I just wonder if this system
Yep.
he's looking at.
Yeah. yeah, you guys are just, again, 20 years in phone progression of technology, they'll be able to do all that stuff. Probably individual department, right now it's really difficult to program that stuff. But, it'd almost be like the website is today. I think everybody can now update their own website, right? Before, it would have to go to us, and we'd have to process it, and I think departments now can update their own websites, right? There might be a possibility where, I need to change some routing. I had a new person join, I want to put him in this group, so when they do call this number, it goes to Russ, or it goes to all of you at once, or you're like, no, round robin it, right? Go to Russ, then go to Mike, then go to Mark, and then start over again. All those kind of options are gonna be there in this new
That's
phone
what's nice,
system.
'cause that way you can call the landline, that way the customers are going to tell it.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody
Call the
answers.
landline and get Steve.
Yep.
Somebody's
He might
gonna
be out in the
answer.
truck. He
Right.
might be out on a job, but.
Somebody else will go to, right, I like that
They do
too.
that in the sheriff's office. I can call the
Sure.
comm center and be in touch with any deputy.
I think you have a newer phone system than what the rest of us are.
Well, I think that's good. So my take on this is that we're okay with all the other stuff on his budget. He's 3%, basically, he's kept it within that. And then, I mean, we can decide whether or not we're gonna put in the other, to me, $70,000, $80,000 in the
I'd like to
budget.
see how much we're
to be
spending
sure.
all together before we go.
Well, I do too. We're not gonna agree to that now
I
anyway.
wanna see the number in chart.
Yeah, and, well, having the technical expertise, I think, will come from,
And say he
Brett.
already says he's going to it.
He's gonna do it,
right,
but I mean, our end, what we're spending in on our budget.
Kelly just did it.
She
She did it right here.
Yeah, but you're saying some of it is cell phone and some isn't.
Oh, well, that's another thing.
Well, that's what I need, we need to have that broken out, so we have a real number.
You guys have cell phones and stuff, which we won't replace, that with the phone system won't replace like your cell phones through Verizon and things like that.
No.
But,
No, not expected.
yeah, so you guys will have
We just wanna know what we're spending
Sure.
for landlines and cell.
Yep.
I just wanna see a break.
And first of all, we don't have landlines. We don't have landlines. It's all some sort of other.
Yeah, it is VoIP today. You just have hardware on-prem to support those voice calls.
There was just a comment made at one time, you know, that we should look at what landlines are costing the county, because they're not all being used in John Hardy's landlines. That was what-
There's a lot of like conversation that we could have around those three-letter acronyms on PRI, it's land,
Technically not
GID, and
landline,
Ah,
correct,
okay, so
but
there's more to
but they're
it
like a
than that.
landline.
yeah, I'm just, yeah. Okay, I'll work on
Okay.
that. And then, say next 30 days, I'll come in and present to you guys the data.
Thought, yeah,
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Chris.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
appreciate your work.
Thank you.
And there's, yeah,
Chris,
Still got 3, so we're okay.
I don't think.
that line, I don't know. Right.
We have a sheet on the.
No, not
He's
yet.
giving it to
Fast.
us, maybe.
What's that?
A sheet on bus.
How'd he sneak in here?
He's giving it to us, I think.
Somebody left the back door open.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
Okay.
next week is it? What day? Thank you. And you are? I did not print 22 of them.
Two buses I have. Don't even have the application yet. But I did put it.
You can talk through that one.
That's, the 2201 account is not a reimbursed account. It's just the 10%. We buy a bus, we don't pay for the whole bus and get reimbursed. We just pay the 10%. The state takes care of the rest of it. So that's why that number's, that's part number in there. Equipment, I can probably cut that a little bit, but we do have to buy some more. I discontinued our old tablets. And the new, they don't make them that small anymore, so if you get all new mounts for buses, and those are, I ordered 5 of them. I'm getting 100% of that covered, and that was over $2,000.
Yeah, that's something we have to expect here.
Yes.
Start with your other.
Okay. All right, so. Per my previous staff updates with my budget cuts.
Okay, I guess, go ahead.
Okay, just wait. The, I had to cut that 25,000 out of next fiscal year's budget as far as federal and state funds that I would recoup.
Next meeting, this or next?
This current fiscal year.
This,
So they normally do a 2-year agreement. They're still up in the air. They only did a 1-year agreement. And again, and you see my notes here, we all have to have our June 25 invoice submitted by 15th, which mine's been in for a week now. They have to go through and desk audit every transit agency's invoice, make sure they're all good, calculate the numbers, reimburse them. And then if there's any money left over, that will roll over towards this fiscal year. And then we get a fight over it at that point. Which, we're at 20% growth year over year, so I've already let them know that I will be fighting for as much of that back as I can get. Just based on those cuts, though, I had to cut 3 months of wages and benefits for everybody to get to the number they needed me to be at. So I need probably 300,000 of that back just to maintain what we're currently doing. And that's pulling everything else off the table that I had extended some I wanted to extend some hours on our demand response service, a few hours each day. So it lines up with our routes. Had a couple smaller projects at the bus barn I wanted to do. You know, simple stuff like doing a little plumbing and adding a washer and dryer to wash all of our cleaning rags. We have to keep our buses clean according to the Federal Transit Administration's Transit Asset Management Plan. I take them home and wash by my washer. I had some rent built in to pay roads and bridges. Extra storage for our vehicles. Well, I don't have it. So I just pulled that out of the budget, and I talked to Steve Baird about it, and just, you know, if we can ever get this money get it back, we can get some sort of a rental agreement in place. We have to do a market study, but I'm not gonna budget for it if I know I don't have it. So I can pull that off of my budget. If you scroll down, there should be some rent in there. I did pull some out.
Right here, space.
Back up just, you're saying you're taking the laundry home, doing it
Yeah,
to your house?
Yeah. It's all right. You gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, that's that 12,000. That was a ballpark. I figured it rental space, you know, just for 4 or 5 buses would probably market values about $1,000 a month. If I got that approved, I submit it every month and I get 900 of it back. So it's $100 cost, net cost, because that's considered non-operating expense. So any of these expenses that are non-operating, again, we get 90% of it back. If it's an operating expense, which the only two that really fall under operating expenses is dispatcher and driver wages and benefits, fuel and oil. And I even go so far as to, when we get an invoice from our vendor for oil change, we separate out oil and everything else, like when they do a lift inspection or anything like that, goes under non-operating, so I get 90% of that back because I only get 75% of the oil back. The fueling facility is helping tremendously. So even though we've been busier, we've been able to keep our fuel costs decent because we've been putting more miles on. We've been doing more trips. We did, you know, it says 20% growth. So previous fiscal year before June, this last June was 36,813 trips. Last year was 45,203 trips. That was a record year as far back as I could go in transit records for Scotts Bluff County as far as number of trips. So
Not that kind of sheet.
I can.
All the,
Oh, did I do that?
it's narrative.
Okay, and then
Apparently.
I was gonna say, you printed them and stapled them.
part,
To look at.
and then part of that I can pull out. I've talked to my staff and I wouldn't say it's a point of contention, but I've been asking a lot of my staff for years, trying to get what I call a fiscal director position to help me with all the budget and the billing and take some of that off of the transit coordinator who does all of the Medicaid and all of the health and human services billing. She also helps me balance the check register every month, and she pays all the claims. She's got a lot on her plate, and I'm trying to pull some of that away from her, and then also take some of the stuff that I do that's a little bit more data entry type stuff, have that person do it, so I have time to go out and find more money, go out and, you know, network with some folks. I need to get up to the hospital and see if I can ever get any of that money from them each year like I used to get, which we haven't been getting. It's just finding the time to do that to get, because that money can be used to offset the county, my tax ask from the county. So we pull that out. Based on the salary scale, that's $100,000 a year. After reimbursement, that's $10,000. So pull that position out, my tax ask, if I can't offset with the revenue, would be $10,000. So, and I broke it down here again, give you the reimbursement rates and how that works. We are implementing our new software right now.
Say it again.
We're implementing our new software. We're starting the training on that. I think that in the long run, 100% startup costs, with 65,000 is going to be CARES Act money. The state's covering that, and then we'll just have our annual fee maintenance and upgrades. It's hosted, so we don't have any hardware to deal with, any servers. The tablets, I get through AT&T for 99 cents a piece. They're like I said, our old tablets are aging out. I spent half a day yesterday setting up AT&T's control center. Has every device we have, not phones, but every tablet, Wi-Fi unit, anything we have, we put new SIMs in them. I can go into the control center, and if we're not using it, we can deactivate it. There's no charge. Everything is set up on an unlimited plan, but we set up bill optimization. If it uses 250 megabytes or less, we get billed that rate. If it uses 1 gig or less, we get billed that rate. 2 less, and then anything with 2, you pay the unlimited. But it optimizes our bill based on actual data consumption. Tablet crashes, we need a new one. We deactivate that one. We activate one of our backups, and we're good to go. Log into a portal, click a couple buttons, and it's up and running. Hoping to see some significant savings out of that because we have backup tablets we have to keep and we pay for them every month. We pay a data plan for them. So literally cut back our pest control to every other month to save $65. It's just little stuff like that. I'm doing everything I can. Putting off these other projects we had. NDOT has done away with the mobility management team funding. So any of my projects, I'm gonna do bus shelters, all that. That's back on me. I don't have those resources anymore to help do the legwork, all that kind of stuff. I did put in some updated revenue numbers. Took a hit on Medicaid last year, but that was because unfortunately we had several passengers passed on, and they were gals that went to dialysis 3 days a week. They were in wheelchairs. Before they were paying Medicaid, one gal lived in Morrill. She paid us $30 a month, or $30 a week to go to and from dialysis. Once we got her set up through her Medicaid benefits, we made over between $300 and $400 a week to transport her. She passed away. Another gal here locally, same thing. It was $2 each way. We were getting paid $50 each way, and she passed away. So we don't have. So our revenue dropped quite a bit on Medicaid. We're really pushing to pick up a lot more of that. Waiting on new rates to kick in for one of the brokers, 30% increase. Negotiated that. Just waiting for it to get up the chain and get put into their system. Aging office was paying us. Aging office and League of Human Dignity were $2. Was $3 each trip in town. It's now $6. So we're hoping that offsets some of that revenue. Okay, so let me see if I got a big spreadsheet from the state because none of theirs matches up with APA numbers.
Maybe you said Medicaid.
Medicaid. Let me look at this right here. 47 spreadsheets. Well, that's what we had. I had let me look at the numbers from last year. Okay, so
717.
Medicaid for last year was down $14,000. So
26,772.
I would say Medicaid reimbursement, we're hoping to get that back up to about 30,000. I was conservative at 30,000. That's what I'm estimating on that.
And that's different from the stuff.
Yes, so those fares come straight off the top before any reimbursement is calculated. So that doesn't affect any of my local match. All these other ones can be used to offset the county's portion. District 12 is about 8,100 a year. They buy monthly passes, so that's about 8,100. Health and Human Services, let's see, that went up quite a bit, and it should go up more. We did about 17,000 last year, and I think 20,000 is probably a good estimate for that with the new rate for League of Human Dignity and aging office.
So is this local match 92,000, maybe what?
That was probably the total.
I should take that.
Take that one out, yeah. And then, the hospital. City of Gearing, if you wanna do 5 for Gearing, 5,000 for Gearing, 5,000 for Scotts Bluff, 5,000 Terrytown. 5,000 for Walmart. That's about it right now. RTAP reimbursement, that's not really, that's just anything we do through RTAP reimbursement, we get 100% back, so it's not really, it's just not an expense. Anything that qualifies for RTAP reimbursement is just. I think those are conservative numbers. Passenger fares, they do average right at 6,000 a month across both services.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And again, picking up, we're trying to pick up more of the Medicaid stuff, but that 30% increase, plus I'm hoping I can cut that vehicle repairs. Finally got our 4 new buses in. Hopefully we can cut some of those repairs, plus I negotiated a 20% discount with the repairs. I just told them, I said, I'm out of money.
Can our guy in the roads department take care of some of those repairs?
What
No.
kind of repairs are you looking at?
It's the paperwork that they would have to do.
Oh.
You'd have to have a full-time secretary that I have to submit to the state. Literally has to break down how many quarts of oil. If you're gonna do it, it's a big lift to get everything in place.
We're just thinking cost, I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's cost.
I mean, in a
I
perfect
know
world,
what
we
you're saying,
could.
but boy, you know, they got him busy, all the stuff that he works on.
And he's busy right now. We could do it, but you're probably looking at, I don't know what kind of diagnostic equipment they have. I'll be honest with you, our buses are Fords, and we get them the lowest bidder. They're not the best quality. I feel sorry for the people who are, but, in a perfect world, we'd have somebody that's lift certified working for us. They can do all the lift repairs. But that's all training and that's all money. The economy of scale, these guys,
You get reimbursed for it,
yeah,
right?
we get, the only, like I said, we get reimbursed for 90%, that big
Right.
number for machinery,
Right.
bus repair,
So
1610, at 140,000, that's,
net
we get
dollars
90% of that back.
in our pocket, even if he did it, is gonna be minimal.
Right.
Yeah, it is, you know, better.
Because he would have to bill, they'd have to bill us, and I've spent it for reimbursement. You're gonna have to have enough documentation. So it's, again, yeah, that one, they let us put under non-operating, so that one we get 90% back. I went through last year, and I have to break all this down, I have to, let's share this spreadsheet, I break down statistics by service. And I'm even getting deeper in the weeds this next fiscal year, but, my average monthly county contribution was $16,414.73. The 12 months. My total tax ask based on, and this is because of the delay, it doesn't match necessarily Lisa's books. Last fiscal year, July through June, my county contribution tax asking was $194,683.04 last fiscal year. And that
You're
was-
saying that you put that much money in?
That's what I had to get tax asking for,
One
was
night,
194. Just
didn't
And
we?
that 200,000 is, I believe that's the number you gave me, and you said, yeah, you want me to be right at that number or under. And we have been getting eaten up by expenses. Finally got these 4 new buses in. Put a new transmission in one. We just put a new engine in one. These other 4 will be in service by the beginning of August. Fitted with all the equipment and all that. So I think, I don't know, when Lisa, like I said, my estimates are conservative on the revenue. And that equipment rental storage can come out,
I did take that out.
and then look at anything else. The other building expense, that can come to 7,500 because that's for architectural engineering fees to work on finding and getting a new facility. So
Just said?
Yep.
That's what you just said?
that's what I just said.
Let me be sure I understand where we were last year. So I'm looking at actual expenditures, 24-25, down at the very bottom, net tax requirement, it says 8,303.
I didn't,
It's something's not
that's
tight.
the, okay, net tax requirement. How it looks. Balance. This is the amount of money in this fund. Net, the tax I have, that general fund provided me is 215,000. So, when I look at my revenue, that 8,303 is the balance of this fund.
That's what he had left over. And, but we, would you say that we, those are the actual numbers. And so let's go back over here under budgeted, 24-25, said 155. And then it was 213 that you actually gave him?
No. Sure, he has to have transfers.
Yes.
Let me see if I have my spreadsheet.
Yeah, because I had to,
What I remembered last year was that
I don't think I gave him any, I don't think you gave him 155.
I thought that your numbers were reasonable, and you know my story about the bus stuff, and, but I thought, well, boy, this is reasonable. This is a minimal cost out of our tax asking funds. And we get a lot for the minimal amount that we was putting in.
What was the starting?
it's,
Well,
the hard part with mine is
Hard,
one, the
yeah.
reimbursement, and two, the delay in reimbursement. So I'm always 2 months behind. So I gotta, and what I do, I'd have to do each month. And I have to wait a whole month to submit anyway, because I have to have all the bank statements and all that stuff from the treasurer's office and the clerk's office. I have to show I have to show enough money in that 2,200 fund to cover the county's obligation. Once it does all the calculations, it says the county needs, look here. My county obligation for June 25 was $12,831.49. I have to show at least that much money in the 2,200 fund when I submit the invoice. I have to show I have enough to cover that bill. But I literally go through and every claim, I have to go through the check register and find the check and highlight it. It's a lot of paperwork, and but my number, and again, it's gonna be different than Lisa's, because mine is actually based on the actual fiscal year, and her numbers are gonna be based on when she gets the payments, which is 2 months behind. I was at 194,683.04 for last fiscal year. Her number might be higher, but then revenue, that reimbursement will roll over to this fiscal year, because we won't get June's until,
There's some different delay.
yeah, there's always at least a 2 month delay in getting it. So the numbers never really jive.
Well, I understand that somewhat, but sooner or later, no matter what happens, you're gonna get 12 months worth of income
Mhm.
and 12 months worth of expense. And I understand that philosophy, like the first year into it, where it skews the numbers bad, but after we're into it for a while, then we're still getting 12 months
Right.
worth of income.
Right.
And 12 months worth of expense.
Yep. And I did with this, even actually, June was one of my lowest months for tax ask, actually. Was the lowest, no, second lowest. And I even had some stuff that was in this budget. I knew I had state and federal funds left, so I went ahead and got radios, cameras, tablets, and all that equipment for the new buses that weren't even in yet. The state let me get that last year, so, because they knew they weren't gonna have the money this fiscal year. So I pushed that kind of stuff through that I could. It still came in under 200,000 for the year. And that pays 2 months of payroll, not even documents and
The
paperwork.
radios in your buses, do they have anything to do with, our communication system, radio system, or anything?
They can
That's separate?
they monitor our radios, but they're, we have our own frequency. They're not near as high dollars, enforcement EMS radios. I can't listen to their frequencies on ours, but they can monitor our frequency. I can't say they're like $500-600, but I'd have to look.
I heard you and Ken talking about you're doing the laundry out there. I think you talked to me about that earlier, about maybe getting a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Now, what does that laundry consist of?
It's mostly, like I said, our transit asset management plan, we have to keep the barn and all the vehicles clean and in good repair.
Yeah.
So it's literally, these are microfiber rags, and the drivers come in at night, they wipe down the dash and they sanitize stuff. And we have a clean bin and a dirty bin.
Now, what if we have, somebody bleed in the vehicle, they wipe the seats off?
We have bloodborne pathogen kits to take care of that.
Okay, but what happens to those rags?
They go into the,
Okay, what if somebody bled on the seat, but you don't see it, you take it, you clean up the seat, it's still there, you still have it, right? Rather you weren't taking those home, I'd rather you take that to a car wash,
Laundromat.
laundromat, I bet. Or let's get you a little snack washer
well,
and dryer.
but there's plumbing involved there, and that's expense, and I'm doing my best to keep this number where Mr. Harris says
I
I
know,
need to
I'm
keep it.
concerned
And
about that
I'm not,
stuff going to
to
your
me,
house.
that doesn't bother me.
Well,
What I need is, I need that federal money back next year. That's what's,
I can't help you there.
because that's 24 people's jobs, 25 people's jobs.
It is.
So I think we would encourage you to, I would encourage you to go to the laundromat.
I would too.
But I'm willing to, like I said, I've taken out, and again, if I don't get that federal money back, these numbers aren't even gonna be there.
No, we're not,
If I don't get that federal money back, once I know if I get any back, then I can give you guys an update. But until I know that, this is pie in the sky, and this is a hopeful that I get this back. Otherwise, we're gonna have to look at cutting back hours, services, potentially employees.
I know you know how to do that.
And I don't, that's my fear. But again, I know, I'm a taxpayer too, like I told you, 200,000 for a whole year. You do the average for 35,000 citizens, it's a pretty good return on our investment. We can pump all that money back into our
It'd
economy.
be all right if we had the extra money to do it,
So,
so,
for sure.
so I
and
guess,
I'd love to go bigger, but we don't have it, so I'm willing to work with what we've got. I can see building with this new software we're doing, I think is gonna build in a lot of efficiencies. And we can even get busier with not having to add staff. It's gonna optimize dispatching and scheduling and cut back on people no-showing and canceling at the door and save us time and energy there. So,
so my question, I guess, Miss Lisa, 'cause I'm not sure I can understand it or read it here, but last year, when we did his budget, what did we assume, or what did we say he was gonna have for tax asking?
155, looks like he said.
the other one we can do is
That's-
WNCC, but,
Okay,
Okay, and what I show I actually moved is 125,000.
okay,
Okay, and I'm sorry that it doesn't match, I have to go see what
That's okay.
those numbers entail, because he does have to borrow some funds from the Keenan Fund. The other
and
funds
forth.
and how it integrates with this number is, that's what we have to do. So, so I'm down to where his tax has to be, what'd you just say, WNCC? Real?
if I get it. Guarantee.
Well, you're bringing yourself down to tax ask 89,000.
No, that's probably not, well, that's, I cut everything else out. I cut out positions, I cut out,
And that's the record I have, maybe even not.
Yeah.
At 102.
if I get it, but that's. I'm,
And
all right.
seriously, you already have all these cuts? I had everything as you were saying.
well, so how are you gonna do this budget? I mean, I'm assuming you have to do a budget that puts the money in that you're hoping to get.
Yeah.
That's how we have to budget.
Yeah.
And then if the revenue starts to cut, then you know that immediately you're gonna have to start to cut.
Right. And the revenue part, again, I negotiated rate increases with Medicaid on one of the providers, getting more from league and driving revenue there. Any of these expansions I'm trying to do, I'm trying to offset as a zero net. Bringing enough revenue to cover the 10% or the 25% it's gonna cost me for the extra drivers. I just hired 2 new part-time drivers. I've got one out on FMLA, probably won't be back, and one just retired. So that's a net zero and we're still plugging away.
Well, I'm gonna say what I've told you many times. I am a believer in Kirk, and I'm a believer that you have made all of this government regulation and all the other stuff you have to deal with. Seems to me that you've made it work and work well. And you've kept what we've had to contribute to a minimum. When we budgeted apparently $155,000 last year to come from tax revenue, I thought that was a reasonable, very reasonable amount.
It's 10%,
And if what are we talking about for this year? Or we really don't have that number yet?
The other one you have here, Lisa, that's not in there is the 2201 fund. So you'd have to add, if you're looking at it as an aggregate, you've got that number, and then what I've got in the 2201 fund, which is, that's for my vehicle, that's capital expenditures. So that we don't have to pay up front, get reimbursed, we just pay the 10%. New vehicle, I get an invoice from the state for 10% of the cost of the vehicle, and I pay just the 10%. I don't have to pay for the whole vehicle and wait to get it back.
This budget is built, assuming that you're going to get your federal funds that you're asking.
I
And
think
I'm
you have.
sitting at a tax ask of 102.
Right, I think that's, I hope that's not super low.
Is that including the gal that you're asking for?
Now, you can take that out,
Check that
right?
out.
Well, and okay, if we got a resource, then we can.
Well, the problem with that is get her a different job code, so when she clocks in and out, I can track it for reimbursement. Because I'm even, now I'm having my drivers clock in if they're driving flex route, or driving demand response, so I can track more accurately cost.
Because they're different.
By service. Because I reported at them each month together, and the end of the year I have to break it out by service.
You gotta set that up today,
So
right?
we're ready to go on that, so.
That's Charlotte.
And that will help me with the
Lisa?
reimbursement too, so.
Now, Lisa, did I hear you to say that what his tax asking is now is 102? Is that what I heard? So it's
He's saying
technically,
yes.
technically 50,000 less than last year.
How do I put the 2201? Where is that coming in?
Because that's gonna be tax ask, because that's just a straight 10%
Is it,
for vehicles.
because these two pages are all 2,200.
There's the 2201. I didn't think I put any tax dollars here.
I need money in there for vehicles.
That's where we need to transfer some money over, right?
Did I have enough ask up in there? I thought I gave you one with ask up in there.
Figuring something out here, so.
Let me look at my state one, because for state, I had insurance, first category. 2 pages here for them. Miscellaneous other capital, buses. Well, and we gotta do 10% of 173,000. So if we put 18,000 in there, I think that will cover the 2 vehicles if they approve them. If we put 18,000 in there,
So that makes us 130.
yeah,
or no, hundred and twenty.
Based on there, because the costs are already just,
Hundred and twenty versus hundred and fifty-five last year.
And I only gave
I
you
don't
one
think-
twenty-five to make it short.
Right. So I don't think we would argue about that.
and every month that we go by before it's approved, I'm saving money and none of the other stuff I had planned in there is gonna happen until we get this approved anyway, so. That's based on adding drivers and everything.
Yeah, you're not gonna go purchase vehicles or whatever until you know that that's
The
gonna,
biggest expense we have right now will be getting these 4 buses, wraps on them.
Ready to go.
And outfitted.
how much does a wrap like that?
Yeah, we switched over to Cozad, they're a better quality wrap, and we pared it back a little bit. We just got the transit done and it was like 3,500. The buses will probably be between 4 and 5. I can't remember. She gave me a fresh quote, but vinyls, she said vinyl has gone up, so.
I just wondered.
um,
So,
And we get 90% of that
Have
back.
an option to do that with,
To do wraps,
yeah,
lighting signs.
Lighting signs, I
was
was.
it Whiting, I thought there was an individual that was doing, maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Well, and I switched over to get cameras and all that installed. Nathan Flowers has a company, and they're
There you go.
gonna come
That's who
in,
it is.
Dude, that's-
they're gonna actually come in on a weekend and do all 4 buses, camera, tablet, and radio.
Do they
all.
do the wraps also?
No, she doesn't do wraps, she does all the electronics.
All electronic.
And Cozad actually, they were right in line, they were right in line with price as Whiting on the wraps. And to me, right now, it seems to be a better quality, they seem to do a better quality job.
Been doing it for a few years.
Yeah. Brian. and
if,
Nancy do a good job.
I'll only say that if we're putting in the tax asking line, 120,000, I'm okay with this.
Okay,
I mean,
but
it's
it
less
could come back
than
to
last
bite
year.
us, so if this thing goes the other way.
Well, if it goes south, I mean, he's gonna
We're
have
gonna
to
have to look at
react
the
to
whole
that,
thing.
and, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about some things,
And this,
No, let's go ahead with that.
It's gonna be money put
but
into
this
the
would be fine. Based upon getting the money, hopefully
It
we
may be
will.
all, it may be all
Well,
switched around.
I like to talk about that, I got some
Right.
ideas.
But the
I
main
got some
thing is,
ideas on
we
it.
got a budget for it with the assumption we're gonna get it. If you
Yeah,
don't
you
have- Because if you don't budget for it, you can't spend it technically, without a budget change.
Yeah, well, and if I need to, some of that might be capital expenditure.
Better to plan on it, and then if you don't get it, you just react to it.
County obligation if I have to.
All right.
There's no real set rules that I have to use that money for capital improvements, but that's also, like I said, if we get a grant money for shelters, if there's an opportunity, if I have money sitting in my capital improvement fund, I have a much better chance of getting the grant if I already have the funds sitting there, so.
Well, I'm still a believer in you, and you make this stuff
Well, I got a-
happen
I got
in
a
a
long year ahead of
complicated
me.
situation, and,
So
and,
I appreciate it,
the
and
We
120,
appreciate
I
you.
you know, I'm
think is
gonna,
a no-brainer for us.
I'm gonna watch my every
Yeah.
nickel and dime I can.
You have since you took that position, so we appreciate that.
You've done a great job there.
Yeah,
All right,
But if there is some, they can
yep, absolutely, and then anytime you have questions or you're looking at those down the road, you have a question, get a hold of me.
Right.
I'll be in and out training the next 2 weeks, learning the new software we're implementing, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can if you have any
You all
questions.
your new buses.
appreciate it.
Yep, they're all in the barn, one's already around right now, so. Okay,
Thank you, Kurt.
Charlie, if you wanna go ahead with, I'm gonna hit the bottom. I don't know which one you wanna do next, Lisa. What, the next one, I think, are Lisa's.
Okay, now I'm at 2.6, does that make sense? Got 17,118 now. Yeah,
We can move on to another budget, or we can take a look at where we are big picture.
handed to the admin and general budget.
I got that one on top, so let's just do that.
Okay, and this one I know is, we have the general fund, and within the general fund is the admin general. Where we pay for.
This one?
Yeah, no, this is all the, this is my summary sheet.
What am I looking at?
It's gonna be multiple pages.
I don't have it.
I can go through line by line.
No, let's just go to the end of this budget. Let's just look at the big numbers.
And stuff that goes in here, okay, 'cause yeah. In yellow is the dominant money. Telephone that we were just speaking about,
Let's just go to the back page and look at this year versus last year.
Which one you going to, Charlie?
Called Administration General.
It's that big thick one right there, you got it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
there you go. 500. Yeah.
I don't like this one much.
Actual in 24-25 was 7, we doubled it.
Are you looking at the bottom?
Look at actual expenditures 24-25. 7.33 million.
It's got the back out after revenue and everything.
At the top of the second to the last page? Is that where you were?
Whatever, whatever screen you were just on, before you came here,
Okay, and you look at, if you're looking at the,
you're already at the bottom.
that's including, there's like a lot of revenue lines, there's a lot of expense lines. Okay? And there's budget side, and you're looking, 7,334,402,
Yes.
11,551, yeah, that's what it is.
So how do we? You're saying that's not what we need to be looking at?
We're gonna start wherever, do you want to start down at the bottom? There's a big difference because road now wants 3.7 million transferred to road rather than 1.975 last year. Communications is looking for another 600,000, detention, this is where this is the fund where I transfer money to this other funds that are tax assets. That's where we started, and now actually, we do this one more time, because I just opened up 2 columns that I didn't give you guys. This is where we started, the one you're looking at, now, where we're at now. Next 2 columns, like road and bridge, they said they wanted 3.7 million, now we're down to 2.6. After we received the other day. As I open up, I have budget request,
Yep.
proposed and adopted budget. And it's something, I do have to report where we started to where we are now. Instead of saying 11,551, I'm at 10,337. And a lot of it is those transfers, that's the section you're looking at right here.
But last year it was only 7.334.
Last year, we budgeted
Last year,
6,694. $6,329.
I'm looking, sorry.
Are you showing me?
Looking at these two.
Okay, the first one is the first column, and then we have the second column is where we are today. This is when we, at the
None
end
of
of
these
July.
numbers match anything.
And the reason why this is bigger is because it's taking into account all the other budgets that
And at what?
have grown.
money gets levied to the general fund to be moved to these other funds. Road asks for some, and we have to support detention, we have to support road worker and homeless.
I guess, Miss Lisa, walk us through it here the best you can. You know, what the main numbers, we're gonna be interested at the bottom. But I guess however you think's the best way to explain it.
Well, those other funds are, this is kind of the tax asking stuff. I'm disturbed right now because I'm seeing 3.7 million to detention, and I know I didn't send that much. Maybe I did. No, because that's what we're budgeting this year. It's okay. I don't even know where to start, you guys. I mean, this is, you're starting, you know what these other entities are asking for money from the general fund. That's what you're looking at. The general fund has to move that amount of money
What,
to us. We just talked about it, Kurt's.
what, okay, what page are we on? Which,
We're in,
We
this
are
packet
on
called
page 3, and
admin
if you need me
general.
to reprint some more, I think we can do that, and I can get you my other columns.
I know I'm in administrative general, there's 5 pages.
I'm on page 3. I did not give you the second column, so I can reprint that and give you the second and third column.
Is that a quick break, because you're gonna have to go somewhere else to print it? Quick break,
okay, clerk declares.
Wanna take a break?
She's printing you guys something, so you can see it all, so we can be looking at the same thing.
All right, so I guess we're taking a break if anybody wants to.
She's gotta go print it and stuff.
About 5, 6 minutes. Well, if this is all we're gonna print, she just won't print it over there.
I have to go back to my office.
Right.
Are we on break for a minute?
Yep, we're on a break for 7 minutes or so. Is that? We don't need these
No, you
anymore?
probably can get rid of that.
Okay.
This year's budget shows 3 columns. I'm making adjustments today to column 2. And they're in the middle. We adopted the final. but
One,
I
two.
probably should have only done 2 columns.
This is the new one. Should I just need it here? Should I just drop a line here? No, I don't need it. We're doing something, doing it a different way. 13, 25.
Let's give Mike a couple minutes to come back and then we'll get started.
You just wanna go talk about transfers?
I think it gives us a good picture, you know, where a lot of these increases are coming from. We can see it all right there. You know, we see the roads, we see the detention center, we see the
Mm-hmm.
road runner, comm center.
Yep. That's the big ones that you see on my summary sheet too, right?
So I guess my question, you know, if we start at the top, work our way down.
Go back to the top.
No, right there, right there, right there. The list, the top of that
The top of
list.
the 7?
Yeah, top of the sentence.
Okay.
Road and bridge, we're gonna give them, how much more than last year? 1.2?
Last year we gave them from the general, 0.975. General, and if you go look there, we've got general money that went to them, capital improvement money went to them, you know.
I mean, we've made so many improvements with roads, and it's like, we've got, you know, multiple years in a row where we're getting more and more done with roads. And I know we were happy with what we got done with roads last year, so why isn't last year's budget enough to do this year?
And then you wanna, look at this. No, that had nothing to do with it. Just that,
Roads was almost $1.5 million higher last year.
Well, here we're showing 1.2 million more.
okay,
All right,
and then this
so-
will get you, here, Charlie, look back at the.
Right, so Mike's here. Let's try and make sure we're all on the same page, looking at the same stuff.
First, looking at the transfers, and that's the 7 section in expenses.
The numbers that start with 7,
Yeah. Money
1,
between
2,
funds,
third page it looks like.
when they have to. They're in the red on March 31st, Heather has to borrow from another fund, and she, I mean, that's a different topic. Other funds, and the numbers didn't agree. We budgeted. What, where we're at today, or what we budgeted last year, where we're at today. And as you can see, budgeted for roads, 1.975. That's what we gave. 1.975. 1.269, now I might have some. I have to go get my, I had to have my.
So am I understanding, if we're gonna talk about that line specifically, that last year we budgeted 1.975. This year, at this point in time, with the adjustments that have been made, we're at 3.7, or
We're at 2.6 because
The far
when
right-
you walked in here for our first budget meeting,
Right, we cut,
we had a $3.7 million ask and we removed grader and
and so it's that,
two.
so again, that little one at the top where that's yellow, I'm calling your column number 1 and then 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So are you talking about number 2 or 3?
Yeah, we're just looking mainly at 2.
Okay,
3 will be when we final, okay? That's what I
Okay.
have to do for the state. So
Okay.
you're think about this 2.6 million in the road fund.
right,
Transferring it, and then I go over to roads. This is my roads budget, cause I just switched tabs on y'all. This is revenue for the road and bridge. That's
Well,
that's-
How did,
You're sitting
how did,
so far.
the South
will be the
Broadway
final.
Bridge get paid for? I know that was $1 million.
Do that.
He said he used his,
okay.
We,
highway bridge buyback fund, I thought for most of that.
we took $1 million out of that, COVID. You gave us, we took the $1 million out of that COVID money, put it in.
Well, what I call capital improvements,
I don't know what you call it. I
I
know it was
used-
that COVID money. Whatever we had, you had it in that COVID fund that we bought the
yes,
radio
the
with.
stuff that I put aside in capital improvements, and I had so many people barking in my ear saying, you can't give road capital improvements. You guys all told me to move them, so I did, and we did a couple big projects.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to figure out how that got dispersed. Did that get paid through capital funds? Did you pay those bills or did Steve pay those bills?
Steve,
'Cause
We moved
they're not showing up here.
that's not sure.
Well, he was budgeted at 1.975 last year, and his expenditures were 1.975, and that bridge cost an additional $1 million on top of what he spent, or
You
what he
have to go,
budgeted.
you have to go look at his budget,
His budget, not this budget.
this is
Is
just
that being
general fund
his?
moving money. Or this
I
is
thought
just,
that's what this line was his budget.
well, that's the general fund ask, that's what I was just trying to show you. Right now, 1,975,000 is what we gave the road and bridge. I have to go on a separate tab on my spreadsheet, whole different set of numbers that are not in front of you right now, to show that we put 1.975 into the revenue line on the road and bridge budget.
Okay,
So, and if I scroll up.
okay, so where did the $1 million get paid out of then on the bridge? Did that come out of roads or did you?
I thought he did it out of his highway buyback. And you just told me, no, he didn't.
No, we gave him $1 million out of that COVID money, whatever you call that money. What was the name of that?
Okay, so that's where I said 1,975,000 came from general. 500,000 came from capital improvement. 500,000 came from capital improvement. That was some of the COVID money that we got separate from ARPA. We got, I worked on a grant and got you guys $1.2 million in 2020.
But I thought that was ARPA funds, we took $1 million out.
No, there were two different, there was a.
Two different pots of it.
Yes,
No,
we had
yeah.
other, we had a COVID grant that came from overtime from the detention center employees. We chose not to pay them a premium pay and we put it on roads, sheriff radios and others.
Well, I'm wondering if that's why he's wanting to be so hot. Well, that's why I can't figure out. He only spent $1,975,000 last year, but I know there's an extra million in there that.
He's got $7 million in revenue,
Sure, he-
of which 1.975 is general. That's property tax dollars.
Property tax.
That's when I talk general fund money is the property tax stuff. There's some other revenue that comes. Okay, so that's what I was trying to demonstrate. What I'm saying is the transfers goes to those other funds. Road and Bridge, Comm Center operates out of another fund. And we know Kurt just talked about, he operates out of another fund besides general.
shouldn't we be looking at this one after we've looked at everybody else's and have their actual numbers?
Charlie said start here.
Oh, I know, but this should be after we've seen everybody. This should be,
I would agree. I think you need to.
I think we're a little premature on this because we don't have
I
all
think
the
you just
numbers.
wanted to understand both, right?
That's fine. Okay, that's just fine. If you want to do
Okay.
a part of
No,
it.
we're.
And now that we know how that's looked at on that one line item, it helps us on all line items, I think.
but I can tell you what's running through general fund, that's above and beyond everybody else's budget, if you wanna talk about everything here, cause you do have some bearing on a couple of line items, okay?
And you're talking about page one, I'm
Page
assuming.
one. Now, the first line, workers' compensation, that is a static number, static, that, you can't change that. That is work comp premium paid to NERMA already for everybody that's outside of the sheriff department, outside of the detention center, because they got their own roads department, they got their own work comp.
Everybody's rated differently and set up differently.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're all paid out of their funds.
Sure.
But this is everybody else. This is to cover me, to cover Kelly, or
Everybody in this building pretty much. and probably the judges.
everybody outside of the departments that was directed.
Okay.
And again, those departments are sheriff, jail, roads. Is there more?
About the court system. They have.
They aren't separate. They would be under here too.
Okay.
Cause you know, they're gonna have minimum.
Is the comm center,
But sheriff gets assessed a work comp premium separate from everybody else.
okay.
I don't think comm center has work comp.
They have an additional comp.
I wouldn't think,
We don't, they're
It's not
going
a
to be
high
built
rate.
into everything going, paying out of general. The comm
Right.
center is because they don't drive vehicles anymore.
right, they sit at a desk,
They
they
sit at a
don't work
desk.
out on a job site,
Minimal risk.
right,
So it's pretty.
so it's kinda, so it's
everybody
in your
else-
general rate here, basically, I'm
I
thinking,
don't apply it to the clerk's budget, I apply it to general.
okay.
And it
Yeah, you don't have a
encompasses
work comp line in Kelly's budget. You just do it right here, I see, I think I understand.
Yeah, and actually, they have work comp line. Norman's gonna charge us $944,000 this year, and they split it out for me, and they showed me the spreadsheet one time. I've not changed it for some of the areas, cause we know Jeff Schladowitz had 4 or 5 people and he was a greater risk back then than we are now, but no matter what, no matter how we split that NERMA bill, it's gonna be the same amount. We are going to look at in our line items as per how. Whatever way. I mean, if I allocate it towards weeds, it comes out of the same general fund. Anyway, no matter what,
I think I
we owe the bill. Okay, going down, postal services. I don't pay for this, but I think, this is where we have postage meters in the courthouse and the admin building that run through here. Use those same meters. We pay back into the treasurer, but she manages a lot of it, or what else do
We
we pay?
post the money, the postage to the machine, and then once a month, we get billed.
each department,
So in my office, I have 4 different postage lines
You do.
come out.
So
Yeah,
we should
we
have-
have like commissioner stuff,
right, sure.
obviously, both of the commissioners, the clerks, and then election, and another one.
You can set it up in
General, pay it out.
We have
for
IDs.
4 accounts.
And honestly, I go down here and I look, if you look in the revenue section, there's a postage line, 25,000. That's us paying back. But anyway, she's gotta have a certain amount to actually load the postal machines. Telephone services, we addressed this a little bit today. There's a $3,000 bill that comes through Allo that gets paid through here. $3,000 a month, yeah. That Chris is gonna be looking into that for us, right? Insurance premiums, insurance general liability, building and contents, auto liability, that's all NERMA. And we're not changing those numbers. Pay it, this is the line item we're allocating it to. And yes, they did increase from last year. That's because the whole bill went up. This is an unknown that we set aside money, insurance settlements. This is where I'm throwing it out with you. 25,000 is what we put in that line. So keep that in mind, because as we go down, we're also gonna talk about litigation and attorney fees. Maybe we can reduce some of these, or not. Data processing is the cost. This is where I think this is MIPS. MIPS
What is it?
for data processing costs. 1100? 443?
They,
Treasurer and clerks. Yeah, I think that's what we pay for the MIP software.
I guess, you know what, I have a question. So, now that we have our website, there is a chart on that bill for that. Should I probably be separating that out? As a different,
If you're not paying
Line item?
you know, we could if we wanna track that separately.
we should probably, I bet. I didn't even think of that until.
How much is it? Do you remember?
328 or
$328. Okay, anyway, that's MIPS. This is where I get in here and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna remember.
We,
To each line. Next line is, I have written down time clock plus. Next line, joint public hearing expense, we have to pay expenses to send out all the postcards.
328, yeah. 328 for the website hosting, and then the treasurer's package of that 1681.
If we, I'm assuming we have to pay all those expenses kind of upfront, and then some of those other entities have to pay us back.
Joint public hearings, correct, yes. She splits that out if someone else has to participate with us.
Right. Whoever had to participate has to help pay.
We have a request into the extensions. Checking into
Oh,
that
for
one
the,
too.
Yeah, Lisa's talked to Jackie and.
Jackie's on there.
but we have to have money available to put it all together. And that's why it's in there, but then we get reimbursed some later.
You're gonna see a line in the revenue section for
All right.
public hearing. Dues and subscriptions, I think that's like some of the NACO dues. Here, or sometimes it gets put on commissioner budget.
What number are you on?
We're in
17.
971, we're talking
What number?
1750.
Thank you.
Printing and publishing, this is probably advertising fees. Prices actually. Times we have to advertise and some big stuff we have to put in the paper. Attorney fees, you guys are familiar with what that be, what that would be, 59,886, that's mostly Jason. Litigation. This is Allo, we are dealing with Allo, with paying the franchise fee. I could reduce this one, I put it there for now.
This is the lawsuit that we had and we had to pay them back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
It
wouldn't
wasn't
call
a
it
lawsuit.
No, but it was
But
It was just.
a disagreement
It was a
and,
claim they put in.
We used to collect all the money and then
Right.
the city said, hey, wait a minute, most of that's ours, and we paid it back over 4 or 5 years.
Right.
We're done.
okay.
So I think this is just kind of an example of a principle that governments tend to get in trouble doing, is we levy money to pay for something. Then when it's paid off, it stays in the budget. And Lisa mentioned, I could take this out, but it's not the default. The default isn't to take it out. The default is to keep levying that money and somewhere else.
Well, it's kind of,
So I think just principally, we need to be saying, when something's paid off, we stop levying money to it. I think
You would think,
you think, and then it's like a what if.
But
Well,
I think,
we got what ifs, I think there's what ifs built into
what
every
if we
single
borrowed
line
some
item.
money and
Yes.
I don't have any problem taking it to zero. But the issue is, yeah, like you said, whether it's in attorney's fees or whatever, if we thought we were gonna need something, we maybe would do it in a different line. But that one, the term litigation, it could be litigation / allo, and if it was, then that fee is over,
Yeah, so if you wanna take it out, I can't.
and that's
You
great,
guys, that's, like I said, that's kind of,
it's paid off now, right?
yeah,
it is paid off.
I love
I would
that.
eliminate it. Put it into something.
When
else,
did you
use that
write
money
that?
somewhere.
Claim.
Last fiscal year.
Okay, just
April.
double checking.
Yeah, it's all good. I held off for 2 months on them and I'm thinking they'd forget. They didn't forget. We haven't seen that money yet.
I just emailed City of Scotts Bluff their, ambulance.
Good.
I didn't do that until January or December last year.
Oh, really?
Liz and I had a thing to work with each other to remember when she was gone.
But she's, okay, down to audit, I just had to pay the audit fee, like, 9,000 actually. So if he actually comes early this year, this line might be low.
And that's on the next page
Right,
Already on
for
the
us,
page.
right.
B30-2.
Huh?
For us is the next page,
Oh, you're looking at the line, oh, I'm sorry.
the audit cost.
What number's that, Marcus?
Yeah.
2540.
Yeah, 2-2540, right towards the top. Now,
We'd be better off to lose 30,000 a year than have an audit.
We gotta,
We
it's,
had no choice.
so we put 40 in,
because of what we spend, right?
but we only spent 20?
Yes, cause he billed part of it this year and part of,
I see.
you know,
Splits it.
okay, that 2250, you know, that's something to check. Maybe Kelly can look at it real quick. He just billed us and I put a claim through, I thought for 39,000. He audits and then he charges us for the federal audit fees too.
It's-
So, cause yeah, last year was 2250, but you remember we finished our audit,
Oh, yeah, that could be it.
but I wanna double check that what's the 2250 might be the end of the prior year, and then I'm seeing 32, and it's just not right.
I've seen 32, and then the year before that, 57, so some of that isn't making sense.
It's not making sense.
Unless you paid twice 1 year.
Yeah, you know, it might be just the timing.
It sure
Cut
could
off.
be.
Cut off of
but
the
it was
fiscal
always-
year.
Yeah, if you,
If he came later, then it would be in, both of it would be in this budget year. Then.
Yeah,
Came
that
early
could-
last year, late last year, early
Okay.
next year.
if you look at my screen here, I went back. Okay, 27,000. 27,000. Then we start getting later, so 27,000 times, maybe it changed to 30,000, I don't know. 57,000 for paying for 2 years here.
that's my guess.
That's what.
32,000, and then, I paid for part of it, yeah, I probably paid for part of it.
Okay,
But if I already paid for part of it, then I paid a whole, I don't wanna be able to bill. I would've thought, I don't.
but for now, you're thinking you need to leave 40 until you know more.
Cause I think that's what we, you remember we, when, we had an agreement.
Right, we should, yeah, know what it's gonna be, I think. For maintenance on postage. Not postage, but this is like maintenance. And this is the next district.
Could be.
Could be.
It's not gonna be.
Oh, shoot. Okay. District court costs, county court costs. This is when they made the comment to us yesterday when Darla and Diane were here. This is when they waived the fees. The county pays. For people who are indigent or however they decide that they aren't going to be able to pay the fees.
And the judge decided that, I think they said, and when they do, then it puts the burden on
Yeah,
us.
and then Darla said, I'm not a tax collector. Or I'm not a collector. So the county, it comes back to the county. Anyway. I'm seeing 47,000, 44,000 last year, 32. We've had 50,000 in the budget. Give a little bit there too. Like you said. I don't know if I wanna go much below 45, but anyway, that's.
And that's kind of an unknown, so I believe.
Yeah, mental health board calls. I think we have a health board headed by Jerry Ostick. It has 3 or 4 people on it, and they pull together to discuss some nefarious thing. People, I don't know what they do, I really don't, unless you know any more about
what
just
they do
have-
is,
They have case numbers.
they have cases involving court systems or, sometimes it involves a few other issues and they meet downstairs in the courtroom and they determine through attorneys whether this person is able to understand and, or where they need to be classified or labeled as needing a guardian for their affairs.
And we pay their expenses.
Yeah, and a
to
lot of
meet.
times it involves family where there's a dispute and they claim somebody is mentally incompetent
Now there's, is
and they challenge that.
that what these guys do?
Yep.
Four people and Kelly gets to pay them back for their time. Site services, I think that's gonna be again something similar when they have to evaluate the competency of a person. Maximus, we talk about, this is
Yeah.
Maximus is essentially contract agency for the factor to be used in some of these grants. TCD, 25,000. Ambulance costs, we still pay this to the hospital. And we pay aging office, Region 1, Office of Human Development. These are charges that are sent to us. Same with PAD.
Let me go back with, Charlie, the TCD thing. I know there for a while they didn't charge us. I think they knew we were unhappy with them.
Yeah.
They didn't charge us, and as I've said, they don't need the money.
That's the other part.
I don't know what their cash balances are, but I suspect they're healthy. But whatever, I mean, they need it to show the community that we support them. That's what they need it for,
I
in my
don't
opinion.
remember not charging us, though. I remember they
We-
lowered it.
Yeah, there was a couple of years that we didn't pay anything, they didn't pay, or we
I
didn't
thought
pay.
there was like 2
We
years
didn't
we
pay
didn't
nothing.
pay, but
We weren't supposed to pay the
But-
last couple of
Yeah.
years.
are you okay with the 25, Charlie?
I'm good with the 25.
Yeah, I dropped how much we paid. Let's see, in 22-23, we paid 18,750, but then made it up the next year. I don't know that we didn't ever, we used to pay them 50, and we
Yeah.
dropped it down to 25.
Okay,
Well,
Maybe it was.
she came here and said that they were,
I thought they
They
were,
had, that they had plenty of money and they weren't gonna, they weren't
I
gonna
thought
charge
for a
us.
year or two, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all right. I mean, whatever we did, but
Animal Control, Chamber of Commerce, Heartland Express, we hadn't paid them for that. Heartland Express.
mm,
And
you did pay them, may have got coded to the wrong line item, but you certainly paid them this last.
7,030 last year.
She said that we hadn't paid them for a number of years.
And then we got to paying them again, yeah.
I don't know.
I think they had overlooked us and we had overlooked them, and then they just said, call it even, let's start fresh and pay what you're supposed to pay. They didn't make us go back.
Grant line, this has been put in here, we have grants expense, but we also have a grants revenue coming in, so it nets out 0. We will use this when we get these windows that we have a grant for. Pay the expense, then the money will come back into the general fund. The two numbers are the same, it nets out 0. It does look like we're elevating something, but we are not in the end, because there's revenue and expense in the same amount.
It's a net wash.
It's a net wash. And we throw in their budget assistance, when we have to adjust the budget at the end of the fiscal year, we move money from this 971 general account to the sheriff's office, to Lisa's account, $8,600 last year. That line. And then 15,000 for miscellaneous. Mostly that is the Christmas party.
Which one?
Miscellaneous.
Hang on, that's on our next page.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Again, more postage fees. Claims are submitted by principal, retirement, and interest. This isn't truly money we pay out, but I've been told by my auditor to put the numbers in here. Involves the hangar out at the airport that our name is on the loan. Used to be Combs, used to be Olive, used to be somebody else, now it's somebody else. We put in 22,000 there, but you'll also see revenue of 22,200.
So Olic isn't doing it anymore?
No, it just changed. I'm thinking it's 21st
I
century
thought they had,
equipment.
I thought that had to come to us for the,
Has
I know
it
what-
yet? You want me to tell them to? Cause I will. 'Cause
well,
all of a
no,
sudden-
I'm just saying, when
No, it's a good thing. Ken.
when it went from Combs to Olic, they came here, had
Let's talk
had,
to 'em.
had an executive session, and they opened up all their books, and that was for, Olic. Now, if Olic's no longer doing it,
Someone,
well,
could
somebody
be,
does.
could be important. Someone told me that there's 2 or 3 or 4 different entities that own that plane. And,
Olic's.
yeah, so that's
I
what
don't-
someone told me.
I don't-
And 21st Century and a couple others, I thought, but
wonder if they did.
I don't know.
I'll get a hold of the
But
guy.
we could ask
And I
him,
need
yeah.
to talk to him because he's been paying me this insurance money, you know, I mean, Alex had already paid a year. And he's been paying me a monthly amount, and I need to get this.
but this
I know
is
it's
for
Just
the,
one more thing.
It was a big deal when Olic's took it away from Combs, because they had to come before us, and
Well, then we need to find, okay, I didn't know that. Like we mentioned,
because
see,
our,
that's what we go
because
on
our
the
name,
line.
because our name's on it, that's why.
Yeah. Okay, now we're down to the transfers. And the end of the expenses. 9 million is the transfers, 11 million is everything else, cash reserve. Any suggestions on the expenses? Anything to reduce, anything to add? Did you surface some stuff? Or you wanna go to revenue first?
I don't have anything circled.
Okay. All right, I mentioned before, I'm going now, now I'm in the revenue section, revenue that comes in that's not attached to any other department.
the ones that start with 6 dash or 7 dash, I
No,
guess.
we're past that,
Past.
that's expenses.
Go to page B30-4. There's just a few lines to the end of your expenses. And on the left-hand side, you'll see revenue summaries.
They
The
start with
first number
3.
is 300-00.
Yeah,
That's where she is.
First
Okay.
one is property taxes that were levied into this account last year. Seems low. First one is supposed to be 14 million.
that's what I wondered.
What's that now?
Well, we keep saying we levied 14.1 million, but that's not
But
what it
okay,
Yeah, but
but
some of that's
here's-
bond, 2 million, that's bond, isn't it?
Yeah, there's other stuff coming up, 1 million, but there's more coming up. Okay, I said there was expenses for grants, here's the revenue for grants. Okay, they wash out. And we should be getting windows started.
You're talking about 340-02.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The next two,
600,000.
okay, so we might say we levied in 11,822,000, but you have credits, you have homestead, which we receive money from the state. Heather puts that money here. 578,000 comes from homestead, property tax credits, 892. That's also part of your property tax ask, so 13,293,000. We're getting closer to where we're supposed to be. Okay, so those
Yeah, I
three
see it on the back.
Yep, it's coming up.
I have a question. Tell me if you understand this part or not. So you said we levied 14 million or last year?
Of which some amount was.
But then property taxes, these are actual revenues of what she's collected.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea if taxless corrections or when taxless corrections get done by the assessor's office? Like if something was double assessed or whatever, does that bring down our 14 million levy?
I think so, but I don't know. I mean, it might, but it would affect future years.
Okay.
We have to reimburse, do we have to reimburse? But anyway.
Yeah, we pay, we give, like if somebody, yes, we do.
So out of 11.8 that we
It goes-
levied, we ended up at 14.5.
14.1 was the big number,
Right.
of which, like you said, bond.
He's looking at the bottom line
I'm looking at the
number.
bottom line.
It
of
says
total revenue.
14,553, so I think there's some other revenues in there besides just the, but that's okay. It's close.
Okay, and here's
Yeah,
some
those,
other
then it'll
monies,
push us up.
monies we get from the state, and you can see what they're all called. Nameplate capacity, MPPD.
Right, in lieu of tag.
Insurance. Okay, ambulance service fee. We pay for Regional West for the ambulance, to supplement the ambulance, $3,000 a month. But then Kelly bills City of Scottsville and the City of Scottsville hearing as well. They pay back.
Say that again.
We've always supplemented the ambulance,
Ambulance, right.
$3,350 a month, I think is
Right.
the mandate.
Well, I've seen that earlier. This-
Yeah, but Kelly bills City of Scottsbluff and City of Orange, and they reimburse us a portion of that $3,000.
I see,
Am I right?
Yes.
so.
And do you remember Randy came in, negotiated it, they didn't change the price, and then when Regional West got it, they kept the same number. They didn't change it, and they bill us every month.
But I see what you're saying, Scotts Bluff and Gearing
And
pay us part of that.
City of Gearing pays us monthly portion, but I think you guys negotiated the percentages of that too. And then City of Scotts Bluff, I was just telling Lisa, I just sent them their statement for their $10,000 for this year. They pay annually.
So that's added into this, clearly not part of the tax asking, and that's why that number at the bottom, 14,553, is higher than the actual 14,1.
Yeah, there's a
Tax
lot of other
asking.
revenue we're getting
Right.
and other. money
Other, a
that's
few
come in.
miscellaneous revenues.
Tell me what number you're on.
That still
406.
has all those asks in there.
Oh, no wonder I'm lost.
Okay, vending machine, we get what, commissions off our vending machines right here.
They need to keep it filled then, cause they missed out on selling stuff today.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shoot, and that's supposed to contribute towards our holiday party.
Hmm.
Good deal.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
postage is what Heather bills up the different departments. When I go and stamp on a letter, I get a half pay of that. Here's the OLIC, which now I said was 21st century, but here's the expense, principal, interest, here's the revenue. They actually pay Flat Valley Bank, I think it is. We never even get involved. Sell of, okay, you can kind of read, sell of surplus equipment. Couldn't tell you what that was. off the top of my head. Years ago, you know what that was a self-building. Down here, insurance premium refunds, West Nebraska Regional Airport, 36,000. And then this year we were getting 40,404 from them, plus an $11,000
Reimbursement.
21st century stuff, our Alex insurance, they pay us for our insurance. Somehow Nerva really kind of hammers them for their billing. Candy bus, just, it's money coming that Kurt is pay, he can't pay the full amount in July, so he pays his back month. Refunds, refund Nerva, refunds, I mean, this is kind of a nefarious, we could lower it, but what might be coming in get a claim, any other reason we get checks back in. Refund NORMA, we always get we typically have always gotten a percentage of our premiums back. Joint public hearing, we mentioned before, we pay all the expenses. If we have another entity participating, they have to reimburse us their portion. Mainly what you charge for, isn't it?
Oh, well, the postcard too.
The cards.
And then there are some other, I think there's other, like you and I are billable for
Yeah.
organizing and stuff like that. Which we did it, that first year I did it, but
Okay, miscellaneous revenue, this is a plug number, I mean, we can lower it, but just if there's money coming back, kind of like the refunds miscellaneous. Money comes in that we don't have anywhere else to put it, we can put it under miscellaneous revenue. ASAP revenue rehab fees. I'm not sure what that is. $500 that we used to get. Now down here, we're rounding it out, here. Okay, so, money that comes in from here, inheritance. Our inheritance had a nice balance. There's a little more that could come in there. You know, this is supplementing our budgets with inheritance, and this is where we always get warned, inheritance could go away. But do we put it into general fund? Do we put it into capital improvements? And the other two are Keno expenses. $90,000, that is to supplement relief and aid that we've now sent over to Kaplan, payout on the general fund. But I figured it's a good Keno reimbursement.
Does that number going to change?
No, that's where I'm at. It's less than it's ever been. I mean,
Are they
did I
using it all, or are we?
I put stuff in your, they're gonna start billing us quarterly. We'll see after this year, but yeah, they're using what we give them. They're getting business. I've been giving you information. If you wanna see the detail, I'm always available to give you that. This year I budgeted out, maybe I even put this 85,000. I said moving 90,000 from Keno.
It's, well, it wasn't our agreement with them, here's what we're giving you. Wasn't based upon how many customers they have or anything, was it?
So how do you judge that? You still have to budget that what you're gonna pay out. They are being paid $14,000 for the year for service. How much money, who's coming in? How many burials are we gonna have? We have to budget and have a plan, right?
Oh, no, I thought we did it different. I thought that we
We've always budgeted.
gave them $70,000 or whatever it was and said, here's what you get. That includes your 14 fee plus then whatever it costs to do the burials or whatever. But that's what,
I thought.
that's the money you get and that's it.
Basically what I'm doing, only I don't give it all up front. They charge me quarterly and I pay it out of that.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I don't care about paying it quarterly. I'm just saying,
Gotta have a lid to it.
it wasn't, you said something about, is that enough? Or is there more requests?
Yeah, I think
And-
that's part of what shows your
Right.
request.
And there may be, but in my opinion, we agreed upon a set amount.
Yes, and when they run out of our money, they're gonna be done.
Right.
They'll say either, are
We
you
don't
gonna
have
give us more or we'll be done.
Well, they said they
Right.
were gonna kick in some at that time.
Yeah,
They said.
they use some of their own money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was, we
We
were,
don't use money for.
cause they were giving money and we
No,
were
no.
giving money, that's why we combined it, cause we were both giving money.
Not for that exact purpose, but they certainly have money that they give to indigent people all
Right.
the time, every single day.
Right, you're right, you're right. Sorry.
For all kinds of purposes.
Exactly, so the part of the positive by going there is a person can maybe tap into 4 different funds. We just have to be one.
One of them.
I think we're the only one that is county burial. And by golly, I got a question for you, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna change the topic. I was visiting the Laurel Cemetery, that's why I look at you, Russ. I was up here not too long ago. And the caretaker is,
Alan Gall,
Alan Gall's nephew was the one we were
Oh, was
talking
it?
to that day. But yeah, Alan
JD,
graduated with my
was
brother.
it JD or what?
JT, whatever, yeah. My sister happened to know who I was talking to. And if we pay for a cremation, what, $1,200 for a cremation, I think is the amount now. And indigent person, we will, whatever but an indigent person needs, the family needs assistance, we're going to cremate them. We'll not buy a casket and bury them, right? $1,100. And
Okay,
he's
so no
going,
method, it's cremation only.
so yes, okay, this JD.
JD and JD all.
And then there's the county burials, and they bring people out here in body bags from the hospital. What? Have you heard that?
I have not heard that.
Do they-
Body bags?
Do they cremate out there?
They don't cremate out there either. We just put him back in this area. I swear that's what I was hearing. I was like, what?
I have never heard that before. I thought they used to at least put them in a wooden coffin.
Or something, and put him back. That's what.
That's
Plus,
pretty.
he hasn't been there.
Well,
So they stack them up till they get a hole, enough to fill a hole.
You need to ask them if you see them.
if they're gonna
I'll call
bury a
Alan
body,
tonight.
it needs to
I'll
be
call
in a-
Alan Gall and
That
I'll
was
answer for you next time.
They bring him out like that?
I said that was one weird dream.
Yeah.
That's what.
Oh, my.
And that was the county burials. I'm like,
That,
really?
we may have just stumbled onto a serial.
We might have more information than we need right there.
What's that?
Bring them out.
Could
the
be
roads,
more
pick up
information
the
than
roads.
we need.
Yeah.
Anyway, kind of funny.
Carl Thomas is out that direction, isn't he?
Yes,
That's
he
where
is.
the body
He's
bags.
still vertical.
Yeah.
But
He was just
did
a
body.
couple days ago.
Weren't there people like buried in his yard?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's where those body bags are coming from. Just calling it county delivery, but it's Carl Thomas.
Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, that's funny.
Keep us posted.
So it looks
Don't
like
put
you're
my name with it, then I'm
you're
looking
down
into
to-
it.
There's nobody.
almost the very bottom. There's two more lines on the last page for us.
Yeah. then we
Net
can talk about it.
tax requirement.
Okay, and I do need to make an adjustment. Because I said Keno funds 90,000 to support relief aid, and now it's 85. I need to make that adjustment. And this Keno, we could move money over, which typically I haven't, because we still use it to support other functions and we haven't been that short.
What is that last one?
Keno,
No, but what is it? The abbreviation.
community betterment.
Oh.
Okay, and then we kind of figured when we're doing the mental, OHD and entities we supported of the mental health, that could be community betterment if we needed the Keno money there. So, now slice and dice questions, this is where I come into, here's our expenses, here's the revenue, tax ask, I'm sitting at 10,327,000-ish, somewhere in there.
So general compared to last year's. Total
Ten.
tax cost.
Yeah,
That's where we're at, because of the.
you're talking, if we flip our page, you're looking at the bottom line there, that 10,427,000, that number? Is that what you're saying?
10,327,000?
Yeah, you took 100 out.
Oh,
So-
there you go, yes.
All right, but that's,
Also, you should consider that you can catch up most of the way.
okay. So, it just, so all of that revenue is 10,427, it doesn't, and then it would be the tax asking on top of that? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that's,
Well, where does that,
This has nothing to do with tax asking. All it gave us was the beginning balance. Of 2213 or whatever.
what's that? Well, I take my expenses above, I'm sitting at 15 million. cash reserve that I have in there.
Right.
And then take out the revenue that we just talked about, principal sources, I'm at 10 million.
Does that homestead exemption go back into this sheet anywhere? Does it
Is
get
that-
added back, that homestead exemption get added back into this anywhere?
As part of the tax. And homestead
Part of the
exemption, we're levying on a house.
Well,
Those
the-
people don't have to pay their property taxes.
But the
They do,
state does.
But it shows, is that in that 17 million? Total property tax?
No, because I'm told not to do that.
So where's it at?
Well, it shows revenue right here,
Should be in the 17 million.
577,000 or 78,000
When you're
of revenue.
Okay, when I came up here and said, here's what we received property tax money according to the treasurer's report. And we said, that's not what we've been talking about, right? But this is, this plus this. That and the homestead and the property tax credit. All part of what we levied
So those two
taxes on
numbers are
last
all
year.
included in that number. That's all, that's my.
And I can tell you in years past, when, if you put numbers there, the auditor of public accounts says, don't put numbers there, you're getting that payment. Don't rely on that as another revenue source, that's part of your tax asset. Okay, makes sense, kind of, sort of, in a weird way, cause I've had it out there before and it's.
Well, so somebody could qualify for the homestead exemption, then sell it before.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know what happens?
then
Okay, my mother
get it
applied for homestead exemption, right? And then she died before
August 15th. My dad died on August.
then the family has to pay the tax, because now the homesteader is not partially down.
January 1 to August 15th, you have to own and live in your home to get the homestead exemption.
And living at the village or something is still owning your home.
But we get the tax either way. We get the tax
Yeah.
either way. We either get it from the family or we get it from the state.
Right, so that's why they said, don't book extra revenue in that homestead exemption. Because we gave. Anyway.
I think I understand.
I don't envy you guys. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So are you gonna, we're getting close to 7. If you wanna go through these other ones quickly,
I think we can.
Keno, what do you wanna go over first? Keno?
Got a couple of revenues, that's right.
What's that?
We have a couple of revenues in here, most of these.
Keno thing is
Keno
primarily revenue.
Yeah,
Medical's gonna be a little tough.
if you guys wanna talk, we can talk. And
Okay.
you know, just now, I gotta make a change. What I'll end up doing.
No big changes on that at all.
No, other than last year I didn't like, I was.
You've got like a $800 change in your line item. No big deal.
Yeah, what we look out for, our expenses are so minimal, what's going on is your month money, that changes, we do have to insure the building, and we have to have a liability policy, on which, we just found out good news from 2019, we had a change in the policy. And Mr. Longoria died about a year ago, and now the claim has died.
Went with him, did it?
Along with him.
It's in the box with him. Or in the bag.
Or the bag, that's what I was gonna say in Morro.
Was he
The
guy
bag in Morro.
That won all that
With
money?
bag of
with
the
the
slamming.
oily balls?
No, that was, I think maybe that was Dennis or Dan Gibbons. One of the ones that's not allowed in that place. Anyway,
I think those body bags are kind of like a
Yeah.
wall.
When we look at this Keno, there's
They're pretty
certainly,
heavy duty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're real heavy. I can see them.
this shows the expenses. Do we pay those royalties to the city?
Yes,
All right, so you got 310,000 in that total, plus some other things of 90, and then some, oh, then that other's interfund transfer. But you got about 400,000 in expenses, the way it looks to me.
yeah, pretty much 310 to 90. And the whole goal, and this is a separate fund, is for me to zero out. Okay, I mean, doesn't mean we're gonna spend all the money. But we started off with 393,000. I believe we still had some loaned out to, thinking ahead, I think it was loaned to detention center.
That's what I'm getting to.
I think she pulled it here. But then we always get lease revenue, and then I'm estimating what the lottery's gonna bring in, and we get a check every month from Ryan. It's the lottery money and the tax money, and
But yeah, your expenses, which you use the interfund transfers or loans to zero it out to where the 1,500,000 should match the income of the 1,500,000.
yes.
Okay, I think I understand that. It's we get some money from it. We get about 600,000, do we, or 500,000?
You know, that's, 500,000 what I budgeted. Last year it's 424.
Okay,
544 the year before. 504 the year before that.
again, we're only gonna spend what we receive, and
Mhm.
it has nothing to do with tax money, so.
We have royalties, we have taxes. I mean, we get the money for the 2% tax, and then we pay it back.
So the inheritance tax fund, you wanna do that?
Yeah.
That one should be easier.
Okay, started off the year, we talked a little bit about this the other day. We started off the year at 883,000. And I typically, starting at the revenue area. Okay? So I anticipate another 700,000 in interest to give me 1.593 in this fund. And then now I just go and figure out how much is gonna be allocated where. So, I've sent 883 to the general fund, I put 500,000 to capital improvements, 200,000 to communications. I can very easily say, not 883, but 1.33 to the general fund, too, and that would help this issue we're having right now. This is how much money I'm looking at, and I could also put the 200,000 commuting into the communications, but then I'd have to pay out more for the general fund.
Right.
Communications to support that. And it looks like I paid out more than I had allocated last fiscal year. To follow my line of thought, I would move money from inheritance to general, and then move it from general to detention or communications. And then Heather Rothschild made a comment about, you're just moving money everywhere. So I went straight to communication, thinking it's more money than last year. I mean, rather than taking it to the general to move it again. Just saying. So if you're, and then I got 89,000 staked out because I could not put it to the drain seeking fund. Look at my records and see where it went. Sorry, I don't have that picture for you. So that's some money that we can reallocate and take down your ask if we would just put it all in general fund right now and not into the capital. Then we should probably look at the capital fund before we go too far.
Well, to me, Heather's saying something otherwise, but to me, yeah, it's simpler just to
Move it straight
put
to the
this money
source.
in general fund. And then deal with it there.
Yeah, that's true.
Instead
You're
of
very
down.
wise, Mark.
Well, only that you
Save
don't
another
know,
step right there.
sometimes you have no idea really where you're gonna need it and where you're gonna put it.
Absolutely.
So
You
how
can
can you
still audit
budget
it, you
for it?
just move it right in there and be done.
The other
Yeah,
source
that's what
of capital improvements isn't going to get funded unless I move it from inheritance. Unless we ever have enough schools saying 5 cents of our levy goes to our capital fund, which we don't have a little bit of slush to do stuff with like that right now.
To me,
Well, that would build your capital up better.
It would, so I need to do.
to me, it's simpler to, rather than trying to figure out which fund you're gonna need it in, and maybe you don't have to figure it out at that time, but seems to me, put it in general, and then if we can funnel it out of general rather than through keynote lines,
See, you're
I mean,
getting the whole.
inheritance
budget
lines.
now. Yes, it is, it is.
Moves a, takes away one more rattle.
There you go.
There you go.
Rattle.
Oh, I see.
You said
apple.
Rattle.
And then here, and she has
Keep
miscellaneous
rattling all this
refunds,
money.
I've left it at 10,000. Miscellaneous refunds, and sometimes I think, you know, we get the inheritance money, and then they
Right.
manipulate their numbers, and they say, oh, we paid too much
Oh,
inheritance.
pay-
I think,
you gotta
I
pay
think
it
they have to,
back.
I think
Yep.
they have to, yeah, they have to
Yep.
estimate what they're gonna do.
That's right. And then you end up paying some back sometimes.
Anyway, what other, I think that's the ones I've given you.
See, you had one more, you had,
Self-insured. Oh, do you want to toss it?
self-insured medical, you
You
had.
wanna look at it now?
I got my hand.
How long this one gonna take?
Not very
How many
long. You have to
questions you
decide.
ask?
It's lower than it was the year before, so I don't think it's a big.
This is pretty much self-explanatory.
It's pretty much this is where, okay, we do the 1,000 per FTE or insurance eligible per month. $12,000 out of every budget for their FTEs is moving into this fund. Okay, and I think I estimated that money coming in at 3,140,000 from the funds that have employees, mostly general, detention, Tri-City Roadrunner, communications. And which, that's where the money gets funded from in here. And then from here, we pay life and disability, our group life plan, our HSA and flex dollars, dental health plan. We have to pay our CI or whoever we're gonna be working with that first of the year. We put a little bit of money into doing some wellness stuff for our employees. Fees that looks like I haven't even had to use. And then when you see the sevens, 7 transfer to dental, transfer to the health, I'm gonna step back and look at actual. This is how much I paid in claims for the dental,
Gee.
108,000, for the health, 2.3 million. Because I get a report by every Tuesday from RCI saying, here's the claims we're ready to pay. You send us the money, and we'll pay your health claim. I want to hear a really good story that I heard today. Talked to some other brokers that work with city of Scotts Bluff and city of Geary. And they were telling me Regional West Medical Center told RCI, don't pay any bills to a local competing medical facility. And
What?
Yeah.
Regional West had RCI not pay to a local competing health. People aren't going to Regional West, where are they going to? Does everybody like to go?
Laurel County.
They got Laurel
Yes.
County, yeah.
Didn't I claim that they were doing this to us a couple months ago when you guys looked at me like I was crazy?
But that's to Morrow County, but they weren't paying them. Morrow County's no longer an RCI. Anyway,
It's just a racket.
Is that part of that's not part of our agreement with them, is it, or?
that has nothing to do with us, it's just the cost.
Okay.
Wow, really? They would do that? Geez. So,
So RCI did sell.
So, someone told me they sold part of it.
oh, is that some of the smaller things that they were doing?
That's
just a
one-
few months ago?
Like
Yeah. Joe went with the other company, is what I heard.
Well, that would be a pretty bad deal if they did do that, cause if we had somebody down that direction and they got hurt, we had to take them with the ambulance that direction.
Yeah, but that's being paying on behalf of their people.
Oh, they're,
So their people, their Regional West. We're paying Morrow County, we pay for anybody, it's not an issue here. Except when we're running very low on our fund, because it went from, it started off here, this year, 520. You guys are all
You
fading
want-
away on me.
Where-
I'm sorry.
Do you want these back
We
to
are.
shred those, the one you
Oh, you
redid?
bet. Anyway, we can talk more about this. What should we do Monday? I'm hearing
We have a regular meeting Monday, don't we?
regular meeting, we'll put budget at the end.
Right, that's what I was
Making
assuming,
sure
put it
stuff-
at the end. And then we gotta, I mean, do we think that we can, the goal would be that we finish it up, because we don't have any other meetings advertised.
Unless we get them,
Well, we haven't had the treasurer, or will we do the treasurer, or the assessor, or anything like that?
That's the big question. We're gonna bring the rest in, and,
I think we need to.
because we got quite a few, if we're gonna bring
Are they
all
not,
those in,
they're not.
which I'm okay with, asking for that.
I think the register of deeds, the treasurer, the assessor, they all need to stand together.
okay,
Why aren't they?
That's a good
They
question.
always do otherwise, why aren't they here now?
well,
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
haven't been invited yet. That's why she's asking you who to bring.
Yeah,
Let's
one of the
invite the
reasons-
assessor and the treasurer Monday night after the commissioner meeting.
That's a simple
Well,
question.
and I'm gonna go back and say, that meeting is
Simply
basically the
answer.
last meeting we have. And so whoever we're asking, it seems to me, we gotta ask, right? Because I don't see us having anything else scheduled to go over budget. And I thought our goal was to try and get it settled tomorrow night.
That would be amazing. The way it
Tomorrow
is.
night?
schedule a couple
I
of
mean,
days.
Monday night.
I was like, I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
be.
God, I'm not gonna be here, you're on your own.
we can schedule a couple more days to round it out.
If
I'm not
Kelly,
here the 22nd. I got plans for the 19th.
I mean, we could go ahead and schedule
Yep.
one or two nights following, and then if we didn't do it, we didn't do it, if we didn't need it. Right.
After the,
Oh, you know what, the register of deeds is gonna be out of town on the 18th. Maybe we need to bring her in here later this week.
We don't have time to advertise.
Say that, or a couple of you can meet with her.
Maybe a couple
We
of
talked
us should
about
meet with her.
We kind of talked about that the other night. Do
Well,
that.
She's made a mess. She's made a mess, and the commissioners can't look at her budget. The register of deeds. She's created a disaster
I don't think she's
What kind of
alone.
of a situation.
I don't think she's alone.
You mean, are you saying
I'm
because of,
saying we have to set her budget, and she can't come before us. Because she's got a vacation and she's got court dates. I think we just need to set her budget for her.
well, there was,
She's
She
on-
did have an adjustment for me. She did have, and I just remember.
I think we did say that, and that's that anybody we don't see, that we would set their budget.
Well, you better make sure.
They
Does she have
know.
anybody in her
They
office
know.
that could speak?
She's
for her?
been a county employee for over 25 years. She knows how the budget is set.
I
You
guess
don't have to tell her.
I'm a little, Charlie, what are you thinking about? Are you gonna be able to examine her budget, and between her and you, we not have issues?
You know, it's very clear that she's overstaffed. Um,
Okay, well, my concern only is that you can do it, in a clear state of mind,
Still,
and that she could do it in a clear state of mind and it not be a problem. Because it's, you know, to me, it's this close to saying, I got a conflict, I gotta step out for you. And,
by statute,
and almost
she is.
for her maybe, but, so that'd be my only thing that we need to be a little careful with, in my opinion, because it's,
this overstaffing probably just come up this year, or has it been something?
we've heard about it, Lisa's told me that, way when I first got here.
That first floor is pretty much yours.
Pardon?
That whole first floor is probably. I mean,
At least not now.
hey, this is budget discussion. I mean, let's be real, okay? Kelly, every time I come in the office, Kina's sitting at your desk. That tells me that's one too many people.
That tells me we are going over our budget. We're getting ready for elections and special elections sometimes.
So when I come into the office, the deputy is always in the office of the elected official. Tells me we're overstaffed. And when the Register of Deeds can use business hours to run a recall campaign, I have time-stamped messages from people where she is actively running a recall campaign during business hours. That means that she's not tending to the business of the county. She's tending to her own personal needs during the 9 to 5 that the county should operate, or 8 to 5, whatever it is. It's clear. I mean, and she's written it on the wall that she's overstaffed because she has time to run a recall campaign.
And Charlie, you may be right on that, but
This probably
I
ain't the
just
right
think,
time.
yeah, I don't know that
It's
doing that
budget-
here is gonna be,
It's budget discussion.
what is, but,
She just gave me some
They're
revenue.
gonna be fighting
think-
words is what they're gonna
yeah,
be.
you, this room's gonna be packed full of people. And, I'm not, I don't know, don't know that that's, so what did you tell me that the protection order thing doesn't talk about having to be so many feet away or anything like that?
Yeah,
Is that what you
in the
said?
state of Nebraska, harassment protection order does not have an element of space. So we could be right next to each other and nobody would be in violation of the protection.
Can you talk to each other?
So there's like 3 things I can't do, 4 things. I can't restrain her against her will. It's laid out in the affidavit.
Well, I hope not.
I can't.
I wouldn't think that would
Right,
be
so
doing.
to it,
Can't do that for any.
so they've got 3 bullet points, and 2 of the bullet points are illegal for anybody to do to anybody. Then the 3rd one says I can't call, text, or otherwise disturb her peace.
And taking her to task over the budget.
It's gonna disturb.
I would say that might disturb her peace.
But it's also my statutory duty as a county commissioner to set the budget for the Register of Deeds.
She, in the end, there's more revenue coming in for her. She's now at difference of $41 from last year.
How many?
$41. Her expense ask is $12,959. Her tax ask, I should say, $84,689, $84,600.
So her tax ask is the
That's not
same,
really changed.
basically the same.
And she don't really jack it up, which I've never seen her really increase it.
Expenses are higher, but her revenue's higher too, because of something that just changed.
Pardon me?
I don't even.
Well, I think the only, question is, here, 2 things. Number 1, who do we invite for Monday night? Number 2, do we need to set a couple other evenings just in case? Because you need to know that now, right, Kelly?
Yeah,
The sooner the better.
And those dates that are available would be,
We already have a meeting on the 26th. Does that work for you?
and our meeting coming up.
Our
is-
regular meeting is the 18th. And
So
I've
we would
advertised.
have to do it right in here somewhere.
Well, hang
Can we
on.
do it before the 26th, maybe like the night?
Why can't we do it
I
on
don't
the
know what that
26th
date
too?
is.
The 18th and the
So
26th?
I thought the 26th is our drop dead deadline, isn't that
No.
when we adopted?
No.
be nice if you could, but no, it's not.
What is,
No, it's like more into September, we have to do it. Okay, we have joint public hearing the 22nd, 23rd,
Of September.
September, and we have to have a tax,
I know.
set the
I
tax
do
meeting
understand.
after that.
I don't know where
And
we're at.
everything has to be.
Back,
ready.
I do is the old.
So
Thinking there's
saying
what
on
other one?
the meeting for.
I need to set preliminary levies. You,
It was
me.
for yours.
Well, but Lisa was gonna use, I thought we were gonna have a 15-minute meeting.
Thought it was gonna be finalized.
Lisa started talking about that.
Thought it was gonna be also.
Yeah, I thought it was my little blip.
Are we prepared to finalize the budget?
How bad is
It sounds to me like we still maybe have a few more things.
That's what I'm looking for. Some more.
Well, we're definitely gonna be talking about stuff on the 18th, 29th. In my opinion,
Oh, my goodness.
there's no
You were
chance
at
to be
that point
ready
before,
on
and
the
you-
26th unless we make it a major meeting.
It would be nice if that I'm not available the 22nd and you could, we can't advertise. Somewhere around there.
Could you advertise, well, I'm asking you to advertise the 19th and 20th. And then we'll make the decision on the
It's in,
18th. if
and
we
I've been
actually
going
go.
to Valley every morning.
Is that too
Visit
bad?
with the guys. Back
Place-
all morning.
The place is pretty full, so you can't even check out if you wanted to. You got too much work to do.
Oh, yeah.
Don't put it.
Yeah, I can't.
I'll just, hey guys, Russ and Mike. Russ and Mike. I just want everybody to know my intention is to set this budget.
Which budget?
Even if we have dates after September 9th where I might not be the representative from District 3, I want your help setting the budget before September 9th.
I don't have a problem.
I think I've earned the right to do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've been here for the year.
I've been here, I've been the one with your help to drive down the budget the last couple of times. I think I've earned the right to set this budget.
That's only fair.
Well, to me, and not just, that reason, but I thought as of the 26th that we were gonna.
I thought that was a line in the sand.
I kinda thought it was too, but that's okay.
I would like it to be in line with, but we're looking at another 1.5 million we need to take down, maybe, or one. You would let me use that preliminary.
Have you heard from Jeff?
What we're doing
You're gonna
here
get us
is
Have you
more
heard from Jeff?
information.
because we're not even
Sure, you
writing
can
down what
answer
we're
that,
gonna agree on.
Lisa,
We haven't come up with
I
any
will
agreement on none of them. There should have been a line item that we said,
Well,
we're gonna give you.
I'm gonna suggest that we let Kelly advertise for the 19th and 20th. That's for Tuesday and Wednesday after our meeting. And set it for like the 4 o'clock time like we've been doing. And we'll only do it if we need it.
Right.
What time is it, on the 19th?
I said, please don't throw out any dates until I see if I have time. Just a minute.
I had a
She's
plan
gonna
at
tell
6
us if she
o'clock
can,
on the 19th.
has time to advertise.
You what?
We got a conference on anything anyway. We're not writing even right.
I think you already told us.
I don't get it.
That's my,
What I said.
just a
We're wasting
recommendation.
time.
Did you just
We'll
hear
see what
Lisa?
she's got.
I would prefer not the 19th unless you can go earlier. Computer shut.
We should be
We could go,
deciding where we're at as we go down these.
well, we'll
We
talk
haven't
about.
even put a number.
You know, it doesn't matter whether we do it August 8th or we do it May 8th. First time through the budget, nobody's gonna take anything off.
Well, but we did.
We
have to
already
take things
did
off.
before
They
we
did take off.
submitted it.
Take some off.
They did take, Lisa's got it recorded. We
But
don't have any. kind of-
Right, but it's, going through 6 of these now, it's like, that first time through the budget is just an introduction to the budget. We're barely making changes. So whether we do it
Well, we-
August 8th or August 31st,
We met with,
we kinda create this problem ourselves.
we've already been introduced, we've already met with the bigger ones earlier. Each one of us went out. You guys, this is our second introduction. Nothing happened.
Lisa, what day was that?
The 19th.
19th, well, I have a plan.
Should be a better system. Like, we got this much money to spend, figure it out.
Yeah. Let's just levy $14.9 million and let everybody else figure out the rest of it.
17.9.
What they need to do, what we need to do,
I heard 17.
there's
I go
a
with
way to do this,
15
just like way you would do it in your own business.
Right?
Take actual, whatever you spent actually last year, take the increase, and put the increase on that. Anything left over goes into the cash reserve.
State's giving us 5.12% to
5.7.
improve, 5.7.
But if we give them a 2% over their whole budget, that would equal, their raises would be included in that, everything would be in that.
We don't have.
And then we would have 3.5% that would go into the cash reserve.
I mean, what are managers for? Managers are for figuring that stuff
Figure
out,
it out,
right?
whether they have to lay people off, let
Lay
them
'em
decide
off,
what they're,
buy
who they're
less
gonna lay
material.
off, if they're gonna lay somebody off.
Hiring
That's the way we have to
freeze,
do it.
How do you feel?
buy less material.
Yeah, we sit here and coddle for 2 weeks, and then we have to take it away anyway. It don't make sense to me. I guess that's the way you guys do it here. It's the way we play the game.
Players were trying to jump.
Yeah, I know.
And we've talked about it before, we got the lowest valuation of our competitors, and we have more services than we probably need.
Way
Which,
more.
I
We
don't
need,
know that we need, but
we maybe ought to look at, maybe we ought to look at taking
And the
some of that
highest-
away.
that, well, yeah. And we gotta get those services, build it and they will come.
We
We
done?
gotta get them to come.
Are you done, Mark?
What
You done?
dates did you
No.
decide?
She's
Okay.
checking on the date situation.
I don't even have place. So my deadline
Danny,
for
Steve,
it to be
I was ready,
put in
I was ready.
19
I was ready about an hour ago.
is tomorrow at 1. And I can't put it in the paper on the 19th and have a meeting on the 19th.
You mean I don't get to see you guys tomorrow?
No,
I'll have to come out to the house
I
one
had a
morning.
meeting this morning.
No,
Here in PD.
I'm not.
She can publish here.
City would
and
have
she has that
planned
for
that
the-
to be meeting president.
Right.
We get Robert involved.
It's the day you want.
We do a really
I have
good
to have
job.
reasonable notice.
Robert who?
So that would put you out of that.
Oh, sure.
We're real good about using it. We had to trade.
We have an emergency.
It is not an
The
emergency.
Last year, they,
Call
they
Jason
missed
right
a
now.
lot of
The
things.
emergency is that we don't have a local judge.
Ashley was
What
out.
about
That's the
25th?
emergency.
Was that
So
date?
we took about
There was a reason.
Or-
Somebody had a conflict.
Did someone have a conflict on the 25th? That's a Monday,
I'm okay.
Monday before.
Somebody had one.
I thought somebody had something.
I think I might have had a potential one, but.
Oh, yeah, I talked to you, we did, cause you asked me about that, I was gonna go to State Fair this year.
Oh, yeah. But that
I've never been there, I kinda
Labor
wanna go
Day,
before I get
that's
too
the
old.
next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
First.
25th, it's 20, whatever, to the first, I guess.
Well, if we could do it on the 25th, I would hope that we could plan the evening of the 25th and hopefully finalize on the 26th would be my
Yeah.
What time you talking on the 25th?
thinking 4.
Go earlier? Or not? I know that was a barrier for Charlie.
That'd be fine on the 25th, I can go earlier.
Can we go earlier? Anybody else, if we would go at even 1 or 2?
I'm available, so
That would be,
What days? 25th?
I'm willing to go 3.
3 o'clock, okay.
Let's do 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock on the 25th. And we are already
And
set.
the 26th?
We're
Oh,
al- And on the 26th, you're already set.
I'd rather over publish than under. So I've got one that says August 25th, 26th, starting at 3.
You still doing 19 and 20? Isn't it? It's at 4:30 is what I've got.
The 26th, we had at 4:30.
I know that, but can we have it another one before it? Advertise for a 3
Oh.
o'clock meeting?
You mean a separate meeting at 3?
You still doing 19 and 22 then?
No, I can't publish in time.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was gonna say, man,
So
that's a
we're
lot of
talking
days.
nothing that next week.
We are not.
The 18th, we have a regular meeting.
Right.
but other than
Nothing
that, we're not-
extra.
She doesn't have enough time to.
Good?
Yeah, I think the 25th.
Okay, let me save this.
So the 26th is still 4:30, or are we moving it up?
We're gonna have a
15th.
budget meeting at 3, and we still have a 4:30 meeting also.
So, technical standpoint, we're talking 3 o'clock on both days, right?
Which days now, you talking 20?
25 and 26.
25 and 26.
I'm not sure I'll be here, but I'll do my best.
We'll invite everybody. Budget.
Place a notice.
Okay. So we said the 25th and the 26th, at what time, Kelly?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Okay.
Mind if I bring my barber with me? I have an appointment at 4:30.
Oh, yeah, you can.
What?
Is it your barber or is it your dentist?
All right, are you ready for us to adjourn?
I wanna, you just hold tight. To have this published,
Said you could publish on the 19th.
okay, I'm comfortable in the fact that I think I can get this in the paper.
25th and 26th at 3 o'clock. Okay, can we adjourn?
Yes. Thank you.
Meeting's adjourned.
7:24.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Mark, do you have your cell?